Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly dungeon master this evening, because tonight we are going to be taking out, we're going to a classic setting that surprisingly we've actually never visited on the channel yet. And we are going to be using the brand new, or relatively new, 2024 Player's Handbook to kick the tires on this decade update of the game, and we are making use of the 2022 adventure Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen in order to do so. Now, we have a host of luminaries from the Dungeon Musings player roster to play today. The one caution I will say is that this is not intended to necessarily be an ongoing game. We have a 5-year campaign that did not start as an ongoing campaign either. So we'll see how things go, but that isn't the intent today. Is to play around with this new set of rules to see how they feel, and also to give it a chance to play some Dragonlance, because we have talked about playing in it before. We are going to be loose with the interpretation of canon on this, because I really am more interested in having a fun time with this adventure than I am with accurately representing the world of Ansalem. That doesn't to say that we're going to be suddenly introducing, Thrycreen or something crazy into this. Although second edition would probably say I could do that. Yeah. We are going to be making use of the setting, because it's a setting that is a lot of fun, and I've gotten many of us have really fond memories of it. So with that caution in mind, allow me to introduce you to the stars of today's session. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today? First up, we've got our resident armor smith, Dave.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave. I'm playing Elenil, who is an elven rogue, and I've got Elenil the second because it's not the first time I played a character named Elenil on the channel.
Nice. Next up is Ingolf.
Hi, I'm Ingolf. I'm playing Herwig Uth Lebemann, who's a Knight of Solamnia with the characteristic moustache. Most important feature.
Ganz gut. Next up is... Oh, yeah, I know. So it... For those listening, for the players, it seems that Discord is not going to be the answer for our sound woes, because we're having issues with Discord similar to what we had. I'm not having it on my end, though, and the audio seems to be going to the stream okay. So we have fixed one problem in order to cause a separate problem. So next up is Jamie.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie. I am playing Thargrim Emberstone. He's a dwarven cleric of reorcs with an acolyte background.
Nice. Next up is Will.
Hi, I'm Will. I'm playing Seattle Big Mountain. He is a human warlock.
Very nice. And last, but certainly not least, is George.
Hey everybody, I'm George. I'm playing Rovan Sunshadow, who is a level 1 human wizard, sage background, and a mage of the red robes.
Nice. A little creepy. Why is there an elf with his face pressed up against the glass of the tavern? All right, so guys, I am going to grab everyone's token here. So we have talked about this a little bit before, but to give a orienting for the folks listening at home, it has been 500 years since the world ended. 500 years since the gods grew silent, since a mountain fell from the sky and shattered the land. There have been decades, centuries, truth told, of blood, betrayal, want, and cruelty. And throughout all of that, the gods have said nothing. In that time, in the last 100 years in particular, a sense of stability in this new broken world has emerged. and our story will take place in the northern regions of Solemnia. And I just realized that you guys cannot see some of the labels that are on here. I was wondering, I'm like, when you were pointing at the things in golf, I was like, well, yeah, of course it's there. It's out right there on the, yeah, because it's not on the label. So there is Calaman. And
so I knew it, yeah.
You knew it. No, you had it down. That was perfect. Someone has a rumor about Eastwild. That is where that is. Someone has a rumor about the distant land of Kerr. That is right there on the far side of the Calkist Mountains. One of my favorite mountain ranges to mention, by the way. The northern regions of Solemnia are a bit of a contrast in that they are rich. The lands are arable. They can support large populations, and then they suddenly give way to wastelands dominated by terrible things, things that have lashed out at humanity during the, or through the species that live in Solemnia. And it is, however, in the last 100 years, that things have begun to return somewhat to normal. People travel long distances. There are elves, for instance, who from distant Colonesti have found their ways here. Hill dwarves whose over generations have left the foothills outside of Thorbarden and made their way this far north and made families and lives. One thing that is very much part, I think, of the Dragonlance setting is the sense of home. If people talk about the Tolkien influence of on D&D, I think one of the things that is definitely true of Dragonlance is that sense of a place to protect. You know, the opening story in the original novels are about going back to a place they knew from their childhood friends coming back together after a long adventure and finding this in the last home where they have so many memories from childhood. There is definitely a feeling of place and family, whether found or you know, otherwise. And the one character that we've talked about before that each of you has some connection to is Ispin Greenshield, a warrior who each of you have had your own connection with. And I do have some very unfortunate news about Ispin. And Dave is back just in time to start weeping, because it seems Ispin has gone on to his great reward. And where is player handouts? Here we go, guys. This is a letter that each of you has received. And you have all been traveling now through the northern regions of the northern side of, I can't remember the name of the river offhand. Ingolf, you might know this. What's the river, the big river there that is near Calaman?
I don't know.
Oh,
that is Soberton Bay here. So, but
how about the Vingard River?
Might be.
Yeah, it is.
That's the Vingard River.
Yeah. So the Vingard River, you've traveled on the northern shores of the... Calaman is on the southern shores, and you guys have gone along. And this is the letter which you have all received. It reads, "Dear friend, I am Becklin Uth Viharan. I've heard much about you from our mutual friend Ispin Greenshield. It grieves me to share the news that our dear friend Ispin has passed away peacefully here at his home in Vogler. May fortune and the old gods protect his soul. Ispin's friends are holding a memorial for him in the manner he always wanted. It will take place here in Vogler on the eve of the Kingfisher Festival. I write to ask you do Ispin one last honor and attend. Should you come, accommodations will be available at the Brass Crab. Though the circumstances are sad, I am eager to meet you and, through our memories, to revel in the life of our great friend. Becklin Uth Viharan, Knight of the Crown. And I think if he is traveling on his own, our story picks up. Brace yourself, guys. We're really going on a limb here. At a tavern. A roadside tavern. About 2 days out from Vogler. This tavern is full. You know, I don't have... Let me add a page here. And I'll add a tavern for us to go in. You know, I haven't put any music on either. My goodness. Madison.
You gotta have some good tavern music, don't you?
You gotta have some tavern pictures.
Absolutely. Give me a sec here. Here we go. Here we go. We'll sort this out. We'll get this ship back on. Let me get rid of the
get the handout machine rolling here.
Exactly. Oh my God, there's a new feature. I can automatically move the entire party over to one map with a click. Instead of having to go and grab the ribbon and bring them over. Look at that, guys. We're living large today. Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, let me get this here. Tavern. And that's dangerous. This is, here we go, guys. If you ask for a D&D tavern, boy, do I have a D&D tavern for you. Here we go. And I think this more speaks to not only the travelers who are along the road, it also speaks to the upcoming Kingfisher Festival. The Kingfisher Festival is a well-attended event. None of you need to, make any checks or anything like that to know where Vogler is. It is right at the... why is this so dark? That's weird. Oh, it's not. Allow me to bring you guys over here. Let's see. Can I do that? I may have oversold this feature, guys. I'm terribly sorry. Wait! What's this?
What?
Who?
Where's my hair?
Nice.
Boom. Oh, you're on the GM layer. Hold on. Let me put you in the right layer. There you go.
There you go.
And there we are. So, it is, I think, Hervig. You were sitting, I think, if with a noble background. Oh, we need music, guys. We need tunes. Come on. And keeping with our tune from this morning, I'm just going to find my Nitzer Ebb here. And that will definitely suit the setting. Here we go. I actually know precisely the one I'm going to use here. I just may need to adjust the audio level. Here we go, guys. Here we go. This is Heading to a Funeral. There we go. Feel free to adjust the audio on your side too. I just got it so it's not going to overpower you guys. All right. Hervig, you likely have been traveling for close to a week, I think, at this point. Do you have a horse, or are you traveling on foot? Or by cart, I suppose?
I have a horse, I suppose. At least I think I had one in the inventory. But maybe not.
I mean, if you stuff it in a bag and it's been there for a week, then I'm...
Yeah.
I think you have future glue now, but...
Yeah.
You do have a horse? Okay, great. So your horse is stabled in the in this inn. Let's call it the Two Wind Inn. Because this place happens to be at a bit of an odd weather pattern where it... there's unusual weather that comes in and comes out. Dave, that's not a dig at you for playing in this session for unusual weather. It is now, but it wasn't intended. Hervé, your horse has been stabled. You've likely got the wherewithal to afford a nicer, room, and you were sitting near one of the, the big open hearths, warming yourself. It's still late summer, so it's plenty hot outside. But after a long day of riding, it's nice to sit by the fire. And I'm not sure how much of a chatty Cathy that Hervé is, but if he wishes to have some peace, this is a way to have that solitude. And you are reading over once again this letter that you've received from Becklin. Why don't you give us a history check, please? Let's get some dice rolling. We're fucking breaking new ground first, guys, and we're not using a perception check to start.
What?
So, anyone who is human will start with inspiration because you get it or heroic inspiration because you get it every night. So if you would like to re-roll that, you're welcome to do so, or are you going to stick with that?
Yeah, come on. So when do I get to roll history, I think? And it's even worse. Yes, that's great.
So it appears that you've never heard of Becklin. You don't know anything about this person other than the fact that they are part of... each of the different orders are distinct in and of themselves, but traditionally you sort of move through them, and the Order of the Crown is inversely the first, right? It's the crown, the sword, and then whatever the heck the last one is. Isn't it? You guys remember?
The rose, I suppose.
Rose.
Yeah, the rose is the top. Right.
Rose, yeah.
Yeah. So this person is has not advanced beyond that, or they are someone who just happens to serve in that capacity as opposed to moving through the other orders. And Citel, I don't want to cast aspersions here, but you strike me as someone who is always keeping an eye on what other people are doing. Does I have that right?
Yeah, he's very much so.
So the curious thing is you are walking back past where Hervig has this letter out, and you cannot help. Your initial thought is, did this motherfucker steal my letter?
Yeah, I know.
And you quickly check and you realize that this person this knight sitting at this thing seems to be reading a letter identical to the ones that you and Rovan had received. You are returning back with drinks from the bar for yourself and Rovan. Hervig, why don't you give us a perception check, please?
Okay. Let's see if I can do that better. No.
Totally oblivious. You could be leaning over this guy's chair and reading the letter, Citel. It's almost identical, and it happens to be in the same script as well. Citel, what, if anything, do you do?
I don't think I'm going to do anything right now. I think I'm going to go talk to Rovan about what I've seen.
Okay.
So I'm going to continue on business as normal.
Okay. So you head over to where Rovan is. Rovan, you are wearing the distinctive red robes of the Order of High Wizardry, right?
Yes.
Okay. So seeing yourself,
That's correct.
Citel returns with the drinks, places them down, and what happens next, guys?
Don't look hard. There's a knight with a crown back there who appears to be reading the same letter that you and I received. Identical.
Great. We should ask him over for a drink then, right? You must be friends. We all must be mutual friends.
Not necessarily. A friend of my friend is possibly still my enemy. But we could how he knew him.
Are you suspicious of him for some reason?
Cattle just looks at Rovan and is like, I'm suspicious of everybody.
Elenil,
Oh,
would you give us a perception check, please? Now, I'm assuming that you are inconspicuous in the corner. It is unusual for elves to be traveling outside of either of their two major homelands, or for the... I'm not even sure the people this far east are aware of the Kaganesti elves. But if you have your cloak up, hiding your more delicate features, your the point of your ears, it's easy for people to forget that you are there. And you overhear this wizard wearing red robes mention a letter that he had received. The other robed figure does not seem aligned with any of the three orders, is more quiet and seems to be trying to keep a more inconspicuous, or at least a more hushed conversation with his colleague. But you distinctly heard someone reference, so-and-so received the same letter we did. And you look over and... Oh, I don't know. Could be because we've got so many of us in there.
I don't know. It's something to do with...
Like every second word is missing, and I'm like trying to piece together what you're saying.
Yeah. You get the same thing from you guys. Let's do this. Let's just turn the roll 20.
Oh,
yeah.
We'll turn...
on YouTube, though, it sounds correct. Just FYI.
Okay, so let's do this, guys. Let's just turn the roll 20 audio on. The reason we stopped using roll 20 audio is only because it was there. It was picking up ambient audio from some of the players. So I'm just going to get out of this chat here. Confirm. Now let's just do a quick audio check for everyone. Dave, say so. Everyone, unmute yourself in roll 20. Oh, you know, I may have muted some people in roll 20. Hold on. Here we go.
Close Discord audio and...
Yeah,
there we go.
Okay, so Dave, check.
Hello?
You're good. Ingolf, check.
Hello, yeah, I can't be so George is very loud. So
I can hear George's chair moving around.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, George, go ahead, check.
Check.
Woof.
See what I can do about that.
Whoa. I'm just going to mute you for the moment, George. Jamie, give us a check. Oh, Jamie, can you hear us? Jamie's frozen on mine. Yeah. Will, can you give us a check? Oh, you gotta unmute yourself in. There we go. Go ahead, say something.
Check.
Yeah, you're good. Will, check.
Check.
Good. George, check.
He's refreshed.
Oh, he's getting his headset. Check.
I think he's still waiting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Check, George.
I hear you, but I have to do my headphones again. It just keeps...
Wait a minute, he's quieter now.
Yeah, you're quieter now. The gain, whatever the laptop or whatever.
I changed microphones.
Fabulous. That's good. So we're all okay. So we're all good. All right. Yeah, it's good to know because we had issues with every fucking audio source, it seems. So, all right. Then you know what? It would be probably possible to do some people through one, some people through the other. So like if we have folks who have background noise or whatnot, we can take care of it that way in future games. I do hear George moving, so your gain is up pretty high. Your mic is picking up something, some background. Although I think that's the stupid roll 20 audio.
Huh, it's weird. I have my... Here's it. I'm muting.
No, I don't hear it anymore.
Mute. Yeah, so that's weird.
Huh.
Well, let's see what happens.
In any event, the All right. So what I had said is the Hervig. So we're gonna get ourselves all caught up. Hervig was reading the letter that we all saw. Cetel walked past, saw that it was there. Hervig made a impressive perception score of a 5, and did not seem to notice Cetel leaning over to see clearly in the same handwriting in the letter as well. Cetel came back and said, "Don't look now, but that knight over there, he's got the same letter as us." And Rovan said, "Well, we should make friends then, if he's got the same letter as us." And Cetel said, "No, we've got to be careful about this." And Elenil, you sitting in the corner, inconspicuous, heard, "Letter?" So, now that we can all hear one another, what do we pick up from there? What happens next, guys?
I guess, Dave, you're muted.
Dave is muted, so we get an opportunity to toast Mo. Mo would have enjoyed this game. So,
Yeah, there you
I
go.
think
I think I'm curious.
Seattle
when you
looks
heard
at
letter.
Rovan is like, I think we should.
oh, hold
At
on, Will,
least-
hold it. We're checking with Ellen now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Waste any-
Go ahead.
So I think as soon as he hears letter, and he kind of looks around the room, he's like, now he's kind of curious. It's like, are there others then? That
So you can see
so
that
he's gonna
Hervig has that note out for sure.
Hervig has it out,
Yeah.
and the other table was talking about it. So now he's gonna like kind of he just make his way up to the bar in a meandering fashion to get another drink, and looking around for anybody who can either discussing letters or maybe get a better look at Rovan and Cetel and Hervig.
So you cannot see what Cetel's deal is. Maybe a noble of some kind, a performer, maybe. He's got a long robe on. Rovan, however, does have the distinctive red robes of a wizard of high sorcery. Thagrim, what are you doing in the bar?
I think Thagrim would gravitate towards the hearth, if there is one, and he'd feel the sort of glow of reorcs and perhaps taking a drink for his fallen friend, and then just surveying the room as well, just seeing who else is there and trying to see what the lay of the land is.
So Thagrim is using his action to cut through the fat of it. So Hervig, with the note in hand, Thagrim, you walk up to join the open seat next to him, and if you may say, I'm not sure how you would feel about intruding on someone's solitude like that. If you're like, oh, is this seat taken? You will notice for sure Hervig has a letter identical to the one that you received.
Then I may pull my letter from my own pocket and say, hello, friend. It seems we may have had a mutual acquaintance. And I'll just show him my letter, at least sort of display it so he's aware.
The other three of you see this. There are now two people who seem to be talking about these letters. Hervig, how do you react?
Yeah, I think I would. So then, my condolences to you. My name is Hervig Uth Lebemann, whom have I the pleasure with to meet.
Hello, Hervig. I am Thagrim Ember. What am I? Emberstone.
Embercrag, Fjord, Slag. I don't know.
Too many new names here, but Ispin was a good friend.
Every tavern he checks in under a different name, so.
That could be the two. That could very well be. But Ispin was a good friend who I knew not long enough.
He traveled much. It seems he has made a lot of friends.
Yes, he has left an impression on me. I wouldn't miss this, despite it's the travel to get here.
Yeah. I think for Hervig, everything that needs to be said is said. So we'll just So if you just
back to looking at the fire and stroking his mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Thagrum will raise his cup and make a sort of a blessing to Reorx for Ispin's fallen soul, that he may be watched over by Reorx in the forge.
Okay.
So I'm making this to Kari Jollis because I would know that Ispin probably would have toasted to him as well. I mean, you toast to the old gods. They don't do anything, but you still do because tradition.
Yeah. Okay. Rovan, Acetel, and Eleanor, you would likely see all of that play out. It does not seem that the...
Eleanor's going to walk past Rovan and Acetel's table. And he'll just drop his letter on the table. And he'll be like, I heard you talking about this. You got one too? Seems there are a couple at the other table. Maybe we should all sit together. And he'll grab his...
Getting up. Oh, sorry.
Scoop up his letter and head over to the other table.
I almost start to get up, and then I stop and I look to Acetel to see what he thinks we should do.
He kind of gives him the go-ahead nod. He's like, yeah, let's go see what's up.
So I follow.
Leave it to you guys. What happens next?
He'll Ellen will head over to the table, and he'll kind of, look over and watch the other two approaching. And before he says, he'll kind of stand there at the table without saying anything.
So remember, these two are sitting at a hearth, not the table.
Oh, they're sitting at a hearth.
Yeah.
Then he'll maybe just like pick a stool from another table or something like that over towards the hearth and say, "Can I sit with you?" It's just not enough room.
Indeed, a friend of Ispin is a friend of mine.
Seems to be a bunch of us here.
I think I'd nod, and then if other people come, I think I somehow get up and try to introduce myself standing because of all these people coming now, and it's a measure of making the right impression. So, my name is Herwig Uth Lebermann. Who are you?
I'm Elenil. That's all.
Herwig...
I'm gonna reach it. Yeah,
go ahead, George.
I was gonna jump in. I think Rovan jumps in there like as soon as Herwig says that. It's like, I'm Rovan Sunshadow. Nice to meet you. And then he goes to Rovan Sunshadow. Nice to meet you. Rovan Sunshadow. How are you? Rovan Sunshadow. Nice to meet you.
Seattle just reaches out an arm for his other shoulder, and he's like, he just kind of puts a little hand on him. He's like, calm down.
Oh, right, yeah.
Elenil probably didn't shake your hand. He probably reached out and then just kind of pulled back and nodded.
So, Herwig, Thagrum, Cetel, and Rovan, would you each give us a perception check, please? Hold on. Insight's a thing in this game, right? Insight. Why don't we use insight?
Insight is a thing.
Yeah, let's use insight instead.
Yeah, it's the same roll for me on both of them.
Why are you doing insight? And why is everybody doing it?
Oh.
What could possibly be going on right now?
So, Rovan, whoa. Thagrum, you clock Elenil as an elf almost instantly. Like, there's just, I think that, as a dwarf traveling around humans easily want to see everybody other than something that is obviously non-human as human. But you immediately clock Elenil as an elf. And an elf here is either far from their homeland in the east, or the southeast in Sylvanesti, or far from their home in the southwest in Qualinesti. So this is, unusual. Rovan, once you sort of get the introduction and you get close enough to Elenil, that's when you realize as well that, wait, it's an elf, not a human.
I kind of get a small smile on my face. But that's when I get pulled back by Sita.
What do you guys do next?
I see that
Anyone know-
Ispin's influence has brought others further than myself, and I am Thagrum Emberstone, and Ispin meant a lot to me. I see that he has meant a lot to you as well, and looking at Elenil specifically, he will ask, where do you hail, friend?
Here and there, I travel a fair bit for many years. But if you are inquiring as to my origin, to the southwest, in the forest of Qualinet.
We should all gather in the warmth of Ispin's spirit here.
So I would say then let's have a round of ale for all of us, and I would order some. It's just
Okay.
that's the natural thing to do. Yes.
Yep.
Does anyone know anything about the Sender of the Legend? I knew Ispin, but I'm not certain of this individual who's holding the celebration of life.
I think
Claims to be a Knight of the Crown.
Yes.
I wonder the same.
Rovan and Citel, why don't you each give us a history check, please?
Is there something suspicious?
No,
the
just
letter?
wondering if we knew anything about what to expect. It will be
Oh,
a
I see.
So,
jovial celebration,
sorry,
or somber celebration,
Rovan and...
or it sounds like we're to,
Okay.
share and enjoy memories and such.
Everyone
Kevin,
toast,
you are
I'm muted. Like, why don't you listen to me, you mother... Oh, because I'm fucking muted, that's why.
To Ispin and Mo, my friends.
To Espen and Mo, yeah. So, what? That's the first time that's happened in almost 10 years, guys.
I was thinking back, and I was like, maybe, but I don't know.
No.
I don't remember that.
No. The Citel and Rovan, would you kindly give us a history check, please?
Oh, this will suck. Rovan will nail it. Oh, my goodness.
Nice.
So it may not surprise you to learn, I think, that Citel may have taken steps to look into this person before you came out. What you learned is that Becklin Uth Vaharan is apparently a member of the Knights of Solemnia, is a member of the Order of the Crown. And she is someone who has been stationed to a place called Thornwall Keep. It is the keep located at Vogler. And it seems as if this was kind of a, I'm telling them, Anna, it was kind of a retirement, plan for her. This is a very, sleepy, whatever town. That's why I muted, because I think someone's playing outside. I'm gonna quickly go and close the blinds. I think that's there's people playing outside. The reason I muted was because you kept doing that sporadically. So let me just check on that. But that is what you know. So I'll leave it to you to how you choose to let everyone know that she's been sort of stationed as a retirement plan.
I don't know if she is originally from here, but based on the research I did, she'd come here to retire, basically. No longer active that much in the Order of the Crown.
Elenil, why would you question the word, be it in letter form, of a Knight of Solemnia?
Same reason I would question the letter from anyone I don't know. To learn information. not to discredit, not to say that there's anything wrong, but curious. That's all. I like to know what I'm doing when I'm going somewhere that I have never been.
I mean, you both make good points.
I mean, the Order of the Crown is my order as well, so
Oh, that's great.
I'm inclined to trust that woman.
So I'm to trust you wholeheartedly, even though I've only known you for the amount of time to introduce myself and order a drink?
I would say that my attire proves that my honor is my life.
Good to know.
Well, this is working out great. Meeting new people, learning more about our friend. I feel like this is going to go very well. The next round is on me, everybody. He goes off and gets more.
Okay. What do you guys do with the remainder of your evening? It seems as if you are all traveling in the same direction. It seems as if you are traveling for the same purpose.
So, I mean, at one point, Havik maybe has realized that Alanil is an elf, making the connection because of his home, and so. But could you tell
The
me,
elf of the
Alanil?
measure. You're an elf.
Yes. So I heard that the elves are leaving the continent back to their original home.
Some are spending time taking up arms against their brethren, but not easy to peg everyone with one action.
Yeah, you've been gone for a while, Eleanor, so you may actually not know what's going on in Western Ansalon.
Yeah, maybe it's more of a, oh really? He just kind of plays dumb because he really doesn't know.
Oh, sorry. I was just curious.
Nothing wrong with curiosity. I haven't been home in a long time. And by that, more than a decade. Which is a long time to you, I imagine, but
Yes.
not so long.
Anyone else have anything they discuss over the course of drinks or getting to know your new...
So I think that's the question to ask for news. So, has anyone heard something new about the world? I mean, obviously we come from different parts of the continent.
Yeah, I did. Right here.
Yes.
This is what I heard. Now, I don't know if it's true, but this is what I heard anyway. That there's these armies in the east that are basically recruiting anybody they can who wants to be willing to fight for them. And they're promising them like all kinds of wealth and money and power and glory and like basically things that have never been seen since before the cataclysm. Have you heard anything about that?
So, to the east would mean Nordmar or something like that.
Was it Eastwold or...
Yeah. So that's
Kern.
Yeah.
How far east are you talking, Rovac?
You know, I didn't get exact information on that. I should have asked. That's right. You're right to point that out. Thank you.
Well, I'm just mean there's a lot of places to the east. Are we talking like up east, north, in Nordpar, or
I think
are you talking like the home of the Kenders, or
Eastwild, Nordmar, Kern, and Kerr. All the sort of the nations clustered around the Kalkist Mountains.
Yeah, I think if it were an army of Kender, we would have the second cataclysm.
You're right. With that, we should order food.
There's a Kender who very slowly turns on his heel and stops walking towards your direction.
Probably friends with our good friend Iston, but
He throws his letter in the fire.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck these guys.
Turns around, throws it in the fire. He's like, damn it.
a bunch of Kender haters. So, how did you all know Ispen?
I don't remember any time not knowing him. I know him since I was born. He was a friend of my parents before.
So that was very close then.
Yes, I called him uncle also. We weren't related by blood.
Mine was more of a fan. The encounter out of the blue. He actually returned something to me that a thief had taken from me. Or a thief had stolen. Not necessarily from me.
Mm. That tracks if you're a traveler as well, too. Like, your belongings would be very important to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I picked his pocket, and he found out.
That sounds like him. He was a good person. The way I met him was when I was still an apprentice before I took my test. I was living in this small village and it was attacked by goblins, and he was there and he helped sort of lead the charge against the goblin raiders, and I helped. I mean, I tried, did the best I could, but he was a hero. He was really a true hero.
That he was, yeah.
Would Rovan, Thagrum, Hervig, and Elenil give us an insight check, please? And Cetel, give us a deception.
Oh, I'm playing the deception card. All right.
Insight?
That's not
Good.
bad.
Woo!
Mine's about ready to kind of fly.
Thagrum
We'll just roll.
and Elenil. So everyone could spend their heroic inspiration if they choose. No?
Yeah, I'm gonna let it roll.
Elenil and Thagrum, you both know that Cetel is lying about how he knows Ispen.
Mental note.
Yeah.
Rovan most definitely does not. Like, that's the story he's been told the entire time that he's known Cetel.
Exactly. I repeat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I would think that this was just a joke, because, I mean, come on, you so no, it would be, it couldn't be that this one would be a rogue and then friend of my friend. That This was just a nice one.
Good jest.
Thagrum might even try to acknowledge that too, to say that, and almost like in a sarcastic way, that I stole from him too, friend. Many stories he had told me that I was never able to reciprocate the tales that he brought me.
Seattle just smiles and nods.
Anything else of interest happened this evening?
Detail said he got caught picking Ispen's pocket.
And you know he's lying.
So, Sita, what did he do when he caught you?
That was part of his kindness. He was the nicest human I've ever known.
That
So what did he do?
that is honesty.
He taught me things. Important things.
So, Rovana, you're the one most familiar with Cetel. Will, do you think Cetel's been, having heard that Ispen passed, do you think he's been performative in his emotion at all thus far, or?
He keeps a pretty strong rein on it. I think when Elenil asked him, that's the closest he's come to being emotional about it. You know, he's. You can see a change in his demeanor. You can see a change in his face, different from what you've seen up to this point. But he quickly pulls it back in.
So the tone has turned a little more downcast. 2 more days' journey ahead of you. Anyone have thoughts on that?
We should head in and get an early start. A lot of travel between here and the keep.
Yeah, so maybe we could ask for some information on the road ahead. Like, there used to be some bands of goblins around, and somewhere around, I don't know. But so, like, it would be useful to know if there's something going on the way. I would maybe ask the local, I don't know, proprietor of this tavern, whatever.
Sure. Why don't you give us a diplomacy? Was it correct? I'm using the skills first. I know that's incorrect. It's charisma diplomacy, I think, but force a habit.
It'd probably be persuasion.
Oh, it's yeah. I don't think there is diplomacy in this game.
Yeah, there's not.
I was trying to find a character sheet to cheat off of, but there is.
There's not one in the new book.
Yeah.
It's in the character creation part, isn't it?
Oh, there is like an example.
Like on 40 or 30 or somewhere in there.
Oh, okay.
I think that's
Well, fair enough. And I think so few people are making characters, photocopying stuff out of their book. Let's see here. I'm going to my GM screen here. Boy, you know what's not on here, guys? Is a list of skills in their skill-based RPG.
Let's hope they fix that in the new one.
Failing grade,
So
my friends.
Yeah, I rolled persuasion just
Persuasion,
to test
yeah.
those.
Okay. All right, so you ask him and... Give us a D10 roll, please.
That's a 9.
So he, you walk up to him, and he, is a bit busy. He seems to be staring off at something that you're not quite sure of. And as you approach, he sort of, "Oh, sir, forgive me. What, another round for you and your friends there?"
Yes, and probably because we need to go to Vogler. Have you heard something about the roads to that place? Some dangers ahead or some unusual events?
Trouble on the roads, you think?
Yes.
Has someone told you that there is? Troubles on the road, that is.
No, but it seems troubled times somehow. So I was just asking.
He looks at you and kind of stares off back in the direction where you guys are, where the rest of your party is sitting, and looks back at you. Well, forgive me, sir, but are you friends with that mage there?
Well, I met him today, and we are going to a funeral, so you can't pick those who attend to a funeral.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry for your loss, sir. But word to the wise, sir. The members of that Mages of Eye Sorcery. I think I said high wizardry most of the session instead of sorcery. Someone's angrily typing a comment. Them Mages of Eye Sorcery. They've been spreading nothing but lies about dangers to the east. Trying to drum up superstition and concern, discord between us, so they can look like the ones that know it all. The roads will be fine, sir. Don't listen to none of them mages.
Oh, yeah? Thank you for your valuable contribution to our road. Thank you.
Of course, sir. Did you want another round? Night's still young.
Yes. Yeah. I think when I think that's very
of course, sir.
appropriate.
Just give us a... So he heads in the back, comes back out. He places it down. He turns one of them towards you. That one's for the mage, sir.
Oh, thank you.
I would keep his hand. Just, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll get you another one.
Two?
So-
Great.
So, well, I mean, obviously, you back at the table, Rovan. You wouldn't be up talking at the bar.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's
All right. So, if you get a replacement, he happily does so. He looks flushed, embarrassed that he's done this. He thought that he had a confederate with you. So he gives you the drinks, seemingly uncontaminated. And what happens next, guys? Anything else you guys discussed this evening?
What brings a dwarf this far? How did you meet Ispinaga?
I met him by chance. We helped him craft some items and became fast friends, exchanging stories of our travels and beliefs. And as others have said, he was the kindest human I had met to that point. And I felt it was worth honoring his memory to be here.
We're far from home as well, are you not?
Not as far as yourself, friend, but perhaps further than some others. Not a problem.
Seems we've gathered a bunch of folks of good character who seem to have been impressed upon by an excellent individual.
I would agree. I think journey's only as good as the company you keep. And Ispin has selected good company.
Well, I'll have to try and do my best to keep up with that. Life's not always been... not every action is worthy of the company of it.
Cheers to this.
All right. Anything else you guys want to discuss before you turn in for the evening, or anything you wish to do before departing the Two Wind Inn?
Drink Rovan's poisoned ale.
No, yeah, I don't know. I would maybe try to show my thought to Thagrum, because I think this is a thing that has been in the family for a couple of 100 years. So, I mean, I'm impressed by it, and I would. So he says he's a craftsman. So I would like to impress him as well.
Okay. Thagrum, are you trained in... Hold on. Any tools that would be blacksmithing or armor smithing, weaponsmithing? Anything with that suffix?
I don't have any smithing skills per se.
Okay.
In terms of my character's makeup, but I think he could still recognize the quality of it by its age as well. He might recognize its when it was made and how good it was made for its time.
So there's an interesting thing about that, because one thing we talked about before we went live was that in previous editions, adventure campaigns starting at the time of the War of the Lands technically used steel pieces as the unit of currency. They've changed that over in this adventure, so it's whatever. If it's a couple 100 years old, that likely means it was forged at a time when steel was harder to come by. It was probably scavenged steel, and it's probably not the highest quality of steel available. So it may have good, it got some nice, designs and whatever else on it, but the steel at the heart of it, it speaks to how difficult life was for 500 years. You know, as opposed to the pre-cataclysm forged weapons that you know, are much more in a time of abundance.
Yeah. So I think Bagram would certainly handle the weapon if it was being offered to him to hold it and just to observe it more closely, and mention this, that you've taken fine care of this, friend. This is more of a work of art than a weapon to me.
Yes. That's what my father used to say as well. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing. Hand it back.
The mustaches have very slightly moved up. Anything else that happens before you guys turn in? I mean, there's a fang dragon, obviously, but I mean, apart from that.
Ooh.
I remember to be suspicious, and I look around to see if anybody's watching us while we're having conversation.
Sure. Why don't you give us an insight check, please?
Okay. Here we go.
All is well.
You want a heroic inspiration then, or?
You know what the heck?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Roll a 20.
Let you re-roll. I'm wondering if what happens. No, it doesn't let you. Okay, I just wanted to see if the in the chat it gave you an option to re-roll, but it doesn't. So here we go. There, that's better.
There you
15.
go. So if you're looking around, the person, there is somebody who is most definitely giving you the stink eye and seems to be talking to you, talking about you to some. You know, every tavern has that, like, you know, there's the barfly who is just there all the darn time. That's who this guy seems to be talking to, an older guy who looks like he's probably, you know, maybe he's got a lame leg and he's sitting on the stool and he's talking to the barkeep. The two of them are giving you a really impressive stink eye. They do not seem to be particularly fond of you. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be anyone else in the tavern who is seeming to. I mean, there's people who are looking because you have a dwarf. I mean, dwarf doesn't necessarily stand out, but like a knight of Solemnia and a wizard of high sorcery and a. Have you taken your hood down yet, Elenil, or are you keeping your elven features?
No, still up.
Okay, so
We got enough weird things going on at this table. We don't need to add to it.
yeah. So, you know, like you're. It's of interest that there is a, you know, a knight of means who is traveling and a wizard. So, like, there's some people who were maybe at some point paying attention, but no one seems to be focused other than that bartender and the barfly.
Okay, I think that my failure than heroic inspiration was that I saw them looking basically at me, but I was like trying to figure out who they were actually looking at.
Oh, it's me.
And then I realized, oh, it's me. Yeah, that's my heroic inspiration suddenly kicked in. I was like, oh, they're talking about me. And so I started to keep it to myself until we're going like for the disbanding for the night, and so I can just tell C-Tel.
Sure. So as you guys are getting up, and I guess first off, anything else you wish to have happen this evening? No? Okay. Then as you're leaving, Rovan, how do you break this news to C-Tel, and what do you tell him?
Kind of as we're going by, I wave at the bartender and the barfly,
Okay.
and smile. And what's that?
No, never mind. I was thinking of being a shit disturber, and as Rovan was getting up, Elenil considered to like use a cantrip to like make torches go out or something like that. But then he's like, you know what, that might cause an actual problem. Maybe not.
Oh, probably.
As the wizard's leaving, all the
funny.
torches on one side of the room go out or something, and then like, no, maybe that's a bad idea.
Yeah, this adventure took a very different turn. So I waved to them, and then I just leaned over to C-Tel. So those guys I just waved to, they were, I'm pretty sure they were talking about me, and like not in a good way. I was doing what you said. I was being suspicious. So I don't know if I just think that they were saying something bad about me now because I'm being suspicious, or if they really were. What do you think?
Of course, he believes Ravon, and, to a large extent. I think, trying to think of something decent to say. Oh, I know what he's going to say. He just looks at them and smiles, but there's no smile in his eyes. And he says, "You boys have a good night." And just walks away.
Why don't you give us an intimidation check, please?
Yes, please work. It's not too bad.
It's not bad, yeah. So everyone retires to their rooms, and while you were all sleeping, Thagrum, you have a bit of a... How about I grab the right book? There's like, why can't I find... Oh, it's the wrong book. You have a bit of an unusual dream. And the dream is... Well, some block text, for one. You stand at the center of a forest clearing. I don't think you have been here before. Clashing steel echoes from the thicket beyond. And as you look around, you realize that piles of bodies cover the ground. One of the fallen clutches something against their chest. You're not sure what it is, but you feel the urge to reach for it. But before you can, the object glows and then flashes with an intense light. And as you waken in the darkness of your room, you have dwarven vision, I suppose, so you can see things, but there is almost like a after image glowing in the darkness. There is the symbol of a hammer that seems to be just glowing in the darkness. It's as if the sparks that flew off from when a hammer strikes glowing steel, if those held firm in the shape of this in the darkness, and it does not dissipate. And if you sit there watching until dawn, it is only with those first rays of the sun bringing the morning that it finally dissipates. That image is burned into your mind and branded upon your soul. The holy symbol that you have been carrying around, how do you think you came by that? Is that something you crafted? Is it something that was found along with that tome that you learned from? Something that was gifted to you or you purchased?
Yeah, I think that I like what Ingolf mentioned earlier, that perhaps the book that he found had this sort of attached to it, the symbol, and now he's wearing that symbol and carrying that book together.
So what you find is, I have no doubt that you have cared for this symbol in some way, right? Like you've treated it with as much oil and whatever else as you can to bring it back to luster. It is an old thing. It was likely found in a dead place. But this morning, it is pristine, as if brought steaming from the water at the conclusion of a fresh forging. This symbol is brilliant and new. And not to pick on Hervik's family sword, but in contrast to that, your eyes can see there are no imperfections in this. this is perfectly forged steel. This also was not the case before.
Thagrum might interpret this as being a sign that Ispin and Reorx have met together, and he's going to interpret this as being a sign that all is well in that regard, but certainly maybe even wondering if the others had some type of ale-fueled dream or experience too, in part. So
you think maybe for a moment it is, you know, like the, oh, maybe my stomach is that, but I think when you rise, even though you were awoken in the middle of the night, you don't feel any fatigue whatsoever. There's no lethargy in your thoughts or your actions. There is a fire in your heart. And you can feel a connection, something that maybe you have been reading about or fostering, or, you know, while your abilities with a forge are not exceptional, you can give yourself the tools, proficiency with blacksmith tools, and all of your spells that you have prepared on your character sheet as the player, those are now active. You know that whatever thing you had been reading about, Reorx has truly come to you in a way that you may have imagined or longed for previously. Now, you truly have a connection to the divine. When morning comes and everyone else is meeting up, what arrangements did you guys make for travel? There are plenty of carts going along, so if you have the coin for it, you could travel along on the cart, or you could simply all just travel together. What are you thinking?
I don't have a horse, so I'll walk if Herwig's willing to keep a slower pace.
Yeah. Someone mentioned we would leave early, so I think at sunrise we would all be gathering and trying to make arrangements as to whether we would obtain a cart or ride together.
I think in the morning.
I mean, it's just a question of price. I mean, if we can afford, then it would be appropriate to have a cart or something.
I think everyone is. What's the? We don't have any English players here, but the phrase "skint" comes to mind. So
okay.
Everyone else will be likely, if you want to walk your horse. What is your horse named, Hervig?
That's a good question. Maybe it's a female horse, and I call her Hannelore, which is...
Love it. All right. So then, Thagrum, would anyone notice anything different about you this morning?
So Thagrum will keep that symbol hanging near his chest, near his heart, where he feels that connection to it. And I think maybe all they would notice is that it almost looks like for a minute he's just like stroking his beard, but really he's touching that symbol, you know, kind of nonstop, you know, just feeling that. And it's again, like if you're paying attention to him, you may notice that he's not stroking his beard, but he's doing something else.
Okay. So, with the 2024 update, humans who have spent their heroic inspiration, you get it back. Humans who did not spend their heroic inspiration, like Cetel, you can grant heroic inspiration to one of your non-human allies.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. I think...
Yeah.
Who has spent it? Thagrum and Eleanor, have you both spent your heroic inspiration?
No, I don't think so.
No? Eleanor, you didn't? Okay, so and then everyone has it. So, with morning, you get Honeyloo and the rest of you guys. Thagrum, it seems raring to go. His beard is very nicely groomed.
Elenil's feeling brave today, so he's going to wait for he's got a moment where it's Seatal's looking in his direction and not everybody else is kind of doing their things, getting ready or whatever. And he's going to use some thieves' cant gun, and he'll go, "Do you understand this?" or something to that effect. Something simple.
Okay. Seatal, you think that the elf might be hungry. Are you hungry? Is it... Are you hungry?
Really? He doesn't know thieves' cant?
Do you know thieves' cant? I really don't know.
I do.
Oh, do you? Okay. Oh, is that something that comes from a background now?
Languages. So, it says you can get, what? Common in 2 languages. He's a wayfarer. What his background is he was kind of cast out young. And so he grew up on the streets, and he was actually working on aspiring to be a thief.
Okay.
On his first job, something bad happened.
Okay.
So I feel like he knows the language.
Okay. So it's for the purpose of this adventure, who gives a shit? Right? Like, it doesn't really matter. It is a class ability, though, so that's the only reason I hesitate. Is because it's a specific class ability, it's not a language.
To me, I thought that made sense.
Yeah,
as far as the
like, it does narratively, and that we find just that,
well,
like, the way that Druidic and Thieves can't work is, like, only if you're from that class, you took a level in it, can you really speak it. So,
And Elenil's intent is he's testing to find out if Seatal is a thief. Because he'd said he got caught stealing from Isbin, so he's trying to figure out if he's a fellow rogue.
So here, why don't I say this then? Seatal, you know that, like, you recognize that that's what he's doing, but you have no earthly idea what he's actually saying.
Yeah. Let's see, what would be the good reaction to that?
I don't know if you guys know this, but I know some Thieves' Cant as well, and the international reaction was typically...
I think he's going to look at him and just say, if you have a question, ask it.
Elenil, I'm assuming he's not overly close when he did that, so I think he'll step closer and he'll go, "I know you lie," and he'll walk away.
Everybody lies.
That's what Rovan walks up to.
Yeah, exactly. I go, "Hey guys, where'd he go?"
So, anything of interest happen on the first day of travel, guys? You are getting closer to Folklore, which means I get to add another page here. Oh my god, guys, we're at halfway point already. Holy smokes.
And we're just on pace, right, Kev?
100%. This is, guys,
2 hours in, and you haven't even, we had 1 block text.
Technically, we have started playing the adventure, guys, so that is, better than usual. So, oh my goodness. All right, let me get this down here. Where are you? There we go. Okay. So not a... Oh, look at this. What a treat. Boom! Move the party here. Look at that.
That's cool. That's much quicker.
The lovely road.
Yeah.
So it is, it is, late summer. It's honestly a lovely time of year to be traveling here. This is far from the northern waste, so it's not like it's, affected by the blasted lands there. And the closer you get to the coast, the more there are these trees that are clinging to the hill. So it is a pleasant first day. And the second day, there isn't an inn near Folklore, but there is effectively kind of a roadside cutout where people often camp, and you would find some travelers camped around there too, so you guys could mingle with other members, or you could just simply camp amongst yourselves. If
Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
I'll just say, if I was to even have a suggestion, I mean, that might be something that would look like your roadside camp.
Yeah. Nice.
Among the trees.
We need more people having white robes. I mean, that's for sure.
Anything of interest happen on the second evening, guys? And who takes what order for what do you call it? For your getting your camp ready?
Thagrum would be probably the one who would quickly put the fire together so that we had a base camp, so to speak, and get that going.
I think I basically just be there to help anybody who needs, they direct me to do whatever they need at the moment. And I just keep walking up to everybody. What do you need? Okay, what do you need? What do you need? And I keep running around doing stuff.
Yeah. So I think I'm quite good at survival, actually. So I would know what to do. I mean, obviously, I'm the most qualified in this bunch. So if I see someone standing around doing nothing, then I would have some suggestions of what to do. I think that's.
It sounds like Raven was happy to take direction as well, too. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Cetel and Elenel.
Seattle hates it. He hates being out in nature. He's urban. I mean, that's where he grew up. So he despises this. He's looking for somewhere, wherever he's going to bed down, that looks like he could at least be kind of semi-sitting up, because he's totally paranoid about some monster or wild animal or whatever eating him while he's asleep. So yeah, he's totally on edge.
Okay.
Well, he's happy to know that nothing ever happens when we're camping.
Exactly.
You guys know there's a Tarrasque in Ansalon? I didn't know that until I was very recently reading.
Attacks when you're sleeping. I've never attacked the campsite when you're sleeping.
Nope.
No.
So.
No, but I think we need watches. I mean, come on. No, we can't spend the night without having someone standing guard. I would happily volunteer for the first watch, but I could do any watch that is necessary. But so I would look around for people who volunteer to pick a watch.
I'm clearly a good option
Yes.
to be watching in the middle of the night.
Okay.
When the fire's getting low.
I'd say Rowan needs to go first.
So one thing, I don't want to lean too much into you always playing the same type of character here, George. But would Rovan have any interest in astrology? Because it does have a significance in this setting in particular. Like, there's a degree of it with the passage of the moons, because that affects the flows of magic. But the constellations themselves are of importance as well.
Yeah, I think as a sage, if he had any kind of specialty, it would have been in astrology.
Okay. So, this is where I'm on a limb here with this. So those who know the lore more, at some point, some of the constellations disappear. And I don't remember if that's at the start of the War of the Lands, or that was during the Cataclysm, and then they began returning over the course of the War of the Lands. That's what it was?
I think so. I think at when this is parallel, when Gold Moon uses her stuff, then the Paladine thing will appear, and also the Turquoise's
right.
sun.
Okay. So that is a thing. You live in a city, right? Like it's not as big as the capital of Solemnia, but it is a big city, which means there's a degree of urban glare to it that prevents you from being able to see quite as much. So you can see where you are right now, getting close to the small town in the middle of a forest or whatnot. There's just so much more sky to see than you're seeing normally. But you're absolutely certain that two constellations that you had read about in historical texts pre-Cataclysm are there now, tonight. So it could be that, building on what you guys were saying before, perhaps like Rovan is was collecting, more firewood to keep the thing going, and you sort of stop and you're staring up, and Hervig, you notice that Rovan is just like staring up at the sky with an armful of wood.
I think
And I just keep looking.
Elena would take interest because he has a sage background. So
Who does Elenil does?
Elena does.
Oh, okay.
I think he'd look up and he'd be like, "They're back."
Yeah, and that's...
Yeah. Oh, you can see it too? I thought for a second I was imagining it.
No, we've been missing.
Right there and there, those two.
God.
They
Yeah,
weren't
and-
there before, were they?
Come and go.
Last night?
I can only see the two moons, nothing else.
Isn't it? It's they disappear, or they're said to disappear when they walk.
I think in your living memory of anyone on Ansalon, with the exception of a couple like weird immortal people, no one has seen these in 5 centuries.
This means something. I feel like we should tell Thagrum. Thagrum, where are you?
Thagrum is
And I'll
mod.
find him wherever he is.
Thagrum was probably just adding wood to the fire as you call for him, and would step aside to look up to see this.
Points it out to you. I don't think they were there last night.
So if you look up, I'm not sure how familiar Thagrum is necessarily with the sky, but I think there are certain, I imagine there would have been other constellations unrelated to the gods that were, stars in the sky. But whether it's the fact that you're in the dark, or whatnot, there is definitely these two, and I think anyone with any religious training would recognize Takizis and Paladin.
I think in Thagrum's background, the stars to his dwarves were like considered to be sparks from the anvil that were spraying into the sky, and that's sort of the way that they looked at the sky, and noticing that there's these sort of new sparks, if you will, from his point of view. He may at that point show Rovan and any others who are looking up at the sky with him his symbol that he wears, and say that I had some sign last night that something was changing, and I believe this is another sign, and just display it to them, that symbol as well, and just thinking, contemplating what this all means, but not really having a clue as to what it does mean at the moment.
So, having lived through a time of such uncertainty as the Cataclysm and the Aftermath, the people that Rovan and Elenil would have learned from would have been familiar with very few things that are permanent, that are eternal. If even the gods can just leave, what can you rely on as a source of permanence? What is the fundament? The fundament are the stars. And even that fundament has changed now. So how disquieting or inspiring or whatever that your characters would find that is yet another thing of changes. And not for nothing, the last time there was a significant change from the sky, the world ended. What is the mood like around the camp this evening?
I think Rovan's mind is just blown by all of these sudden massive changes. He's trained in religion, like he has studied it. He knows something about the histories. So this is like, whoa. So he's not as gregarious as he usually is, but he's not trying to ignore anybody. He's just trying to think through it all and process it and take it all in. But overall, mood-wise, I think he thinks he's more in this space of wonder than in the space of despair.
Yeah, and I imagine there's a degree of like, if you're reading this stuff, we talked before we went live, but there's been like 20 generations of humans that have passed since the Cataclysm. This is distant past kind of shit. Like 500 years sounds like not a long time when you're talking in the abstract, but in the reality, like this is, ancient history on a personal level, not counting the lore and whatnot and cities that were lost during the Cataclysm. This is stuff that only gods could move. This is the only type of thing. It only could be understood as that, as gods. And the last time they moved something again was when they shattered the world. So the scope of this is not probably unusual for you to be struggling with trying to figure out, like, this is witnessing the manifestation potentially of the gods. I mean, there's symbols of them in the sky with these constellations in a world that's not seen gods in, 20 grands ahead of your grandfather, right?
Yeah. Is this, out of character, is this the start of the War of the Lands time period?
It is.
So, if I remember correctly, it's the opposite. Paladine and Takesis leave the sky and walk the Kryn during the start of the War of the Lands.
I couldn't remember if that was the case or if I was misremembering, but so that's what it is so you would see the holes.
So there's these big vacancies up in the sky where there's supposed to be stars, and it's like those gods are now missing, essentially.
Okay, so then it would be the similar thing, the fundamental.
Yeah, maybe I was wrong. Yeah,
just the opposite, but yeah, it's still the same kind of effect, right? You're like, this is not supposed to happen.
Yeah,
these kinds of changes don't happen in anyone's lifetime.
Yeah, so
except if you're an elf.
No, that's just it. Like the elves have the longer lifespan too, but I don't think even the elves. I don't think there's a living elf who remembers the time before the Cataclysm, right?
No, because in this setting, I think it's like less than 1,000 years they live. So
yeah, I think it's in the hundreds of years.
Yeah, so it's not like some of the other settings where it's 1,200, 1,500 years.
Yeah. So.
And I'm a young elf.
Anything else happen around camp this evening? Tomorrow you'll reach Vogler. Tomorrow.
I think Elenil sits near Rovan. Now that he knows they have this kind of connection, they know this, they know stuff about astrology, or that they both studied, and he's probably asking him like, "So, were you always a red cloak, or did you study somewhere before, or?"
And so he kind of tells him his whole story, but the important part with regard to the question is that he, I was preparing to enter as a white-robed wizard, actually, now that you mention it. But just for reasons, I decided maybe it would be better for me to be a red-robed. And so far, so good.
No black robe, though.
No, I know, but but sometimes, you just got to get to know people, and you're not as bad maybe as there's bad people in the world, but not of any robe, maybe. I don't know. I'm learning a lot about the world from Citel.
Really? How did you meet Citel?
Now
that we got a connection? Oh.
Will, you'll have to stop me if I go.
Yeah, you want me to help?
Yeah, great.
Honestly, you can create it from whole cloth. I'd let you do that.
No, please do. Go for it.
Elenil's trying to learn more about his companion, so I rolled 19 on persuasion to Rovan to tell me about your friend.
Perception or persuasion?
Perception? Damn it.
I mean, you rolled a 17, so that's...
Persuasion's not nearly as good. It's got a smaller bonus, but...
So I think their backstory is So, anyways, this really bad thing happened to Seattle, and he got involved with something arcane, and he was planning revenge on someone. And so, as he was trying to carry out his revenge, it was in like a public place, and just Rovan and him just stumbled into each other, literally, and it blew the chance that Seattle had to take care of that guy. And he was mad at first, but then he started, Rovan, of course, obviously, oh, I'm so sorry, it's just so super overly everything. And, Seattle's like, oh, okay. And so Rovan's like, let me buy you a drink. I'm so sorry. Come on. And so that's kind of how their relationship started.
Cool.
Rovan may have been even an acolyte at that point before his test, depending on how long you guys have known one another.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah, I like it.
Hervig, what do you make of your sudden companions?
Oh, well, we traveled the road together to this funeral. I have to honor the wishes and the acquaintances of my uncle. Some seem worthy, like the dwarf. Some seem suspicious, let me call that. But it's not a knight's thing to judge before they did anything that was, I don't know, that was obviously against the measure or something like that.
Okay.
So I would wait. I mean, I would have an eye on those green and red fellows, and the one in black is also very suspicious. So yeah.
Okay. Then, anything else from this campfire, or do we cut to the morning?
I wear black just because I don't like to do laundry.
Yeah, I see.
He also draws a lot of charcoal, so,
Don't see the stains quite so easily.
Yeah, but I think Herrick will try to remember there was something about a prayer to this god he toasted to yesterday, and now Sagrum has some kind of spiritual thing about him, so maybe he tries to remember how to pray to this Kyrie Jollith again. There was something about this in the measure, but he doesn't know.
So for those who aren't familiar with, there are 3 gods that are honored by the Knights of Solemnia. One of them is Kyrie Jollith, who I think is favored by the Order of the Crown, or the Order of the Sword. I think it is Paladin who is honored by the Order of the Rose, and I don't actually remember who the third god is. Majere?
No, I think it should be this twin gods. I don't know. It was the only one I could remember, so I took that. So that's
No, that's good. I mean, it also, honestly, like a fucking up of that. No gods listen anyway, so who gives a shit who you pray to, right? And you may be, destined for the Order of the Sword. Yeah, Kyrie Jollith is the Order of the Sword. Paladin is not list. Oh, it's really weird that they only call that out. I wonder if it's in the background. Which
one was it you couldn't remember? The crown, Kevin?
The crown, yeah. I couldn't remember who the...
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
Knights of Solemnia. I think they loosened it in this edition. But I just remember, traditionally, that's sort of been the way that Knight of the Rose...
Habakkuk?
Habakkuk. Yeah.
I didn't know how to say it, but yeah.
It's a made-up word anyway, so Habakkuk as well.
And they are twins, so this is the twin gods, and then you have this...
Habakkuk is also known as the Fisher King, which is very Grail-oriented.
That's why they have the kingfisher and as the symbol of the order.
So, knowing that those 3, that one of the 3 is Paladin, if you look up and see that gap in the sky, like even if you're untutored in the ways of astronomy, it's hard not to see 2 giant holes of blackness where these constellations would set. Does that affect his Does that mean the gods are even more silent? Does it mean the gods have gone elsewhere? Does it mean anything to you?
I mean, if you would believe such tales, then the last time that those gods went to walk the earth, so to speak, was in the third Dragon War, I suppose. So, and that was when Yuma somehow defeated the evil queen. So. But I think he does not really know. So Yuma is this mythical, kind of super knight, and that's about it. I mean,
yeah,
he wouldn't know so much about the story.
And I think Yuma was the first wielder of a dragon lance.
Yuma Dragonbane. Yes.
Yeah. So. Then,
but
guys,
I think actually this the knowledge of the dragon lances is almost also forgotten because that it was kind of a surprise to find them. So it's
like the amount of like lost knowledge. By the time you get through the first like 2 trilogies, the world starts looking a lot closer to what other D&D settings are like. But at this time in this setting, it's so different. And there's so much, and it's on the precipice of going to, continent-wide war as well. So, why don't we take we're half hour past it. Why don't we take our mid-session break now, and then we'll get up tomorrow morning and see what awaits you guys on the road to Vogler. So, for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. All right. Hey, everybody at home. Hope you're having a great weekend thus far. All right. Everyone gets their, what do you call it? Their heroic inspiration back again. If it was missing.
Yes, I think we all had it, but...
Oh, I gotta work harder.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know, have some Fang Dragon appear or something like that.
Exactly. That's not canonical. Hey, there's an adventure where there's a drow in one of the earlier things, so, like, there is a lot of flexibility in that canon.
Yeah, I mean, so the history of all these modules are in a way interesting because it was not only adventures, it was also partly just for this battle game system they had. So these 16 things, I think 3 or 4 of them are just
battle system,
just playing out battles.
Yeah,
for battle system. Yeah.
Well, it's neat too because like I read an article on how he approached module design. And I know it was 2 of them that were involved with it, but it was the Tracy Hickman. And he has a rough outline, and then he runs it through, and as people make decisions, stuff like that, the adventure crystallizes more into what specifically the actual written module is going to be. Which is why, like, Ravenloft and those Dragonlance modules are pretty railroady, is because you're writing from the way it went through with one group. As opposed to the other, but it also leads to some really unexpected and strange things that happen over the course of when you're playing through, like how someone chose to approach playing halflings as Kender, and how someone role-played with a gully dwarf, you know, and then suddenly that becomes a whole part of the setting because it organically came from their, you know, them playing through and hammering out what the actual module was going to look like. It's really, there's downsides to the sort of, you know, for people to replay it, but there's really upsides for how fucking cool how cool some of those unexpected elements get cooked into the adventure.
And I think it was also kind of new in a way to have this very, very like strong suggestion to play with the pre-gens and not to use your own characters.
Definitely.
Just to follow along with those, which is also kind of interesting because it was like against what D&D was before, like when everyone would his or her own character in that first.
Yeah. It's very, yeah. You know, the funniest thing I remember from like a catalog from '89. I think they were giving like this. It might have been later because I can't remember when they had like Darkstone was out at that time. I don't think Birthright was out yet, but they had like Darkstone was out, Ravenloft was out, Spelljammer was out, Dragonlance was out, and they're giving sort of like in the catalog they were like, here's the reason you want to play this thing, blah 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 blah. Dragonlance pitch was popular with girls, and it's like, what? Like. I get that you're trying to appeal to a bigger audience, but what a bizarre way to frame it. Like, oh my goodness.
I mean, they're not wrong, honestly.
No, like, it's not a
like
wrong statement. It's just...
I knew who had any passing familiarity with D&D, it was via Dragonlance.
Yeah, and particular, those were the gateway before Forgotten Realms really fucking took off and whatnot. Like, those I think were the biggest gateway novels in the 80s. But, all right, so enough chit-chat, time for blood. I mean, morning comes.
Cool about the setting, though, like having that, like what our characters just experienced, like that kind of God meddling in the affairs of human, you know, strikes back to like Greek myth and stuff like that. But it also, it kind of bumps up the stakes right away, like. Big stuff's happening in the world. You're involved. Cool. Let's go. Let's have fun.
Absolutely.
And you don't always get that with different adventures and modules, stuff like that, and even other settings like Realms if you're in the time of troubles and whatnot. But like but it's kind of cool. It's like, oh my god, there's like constellations missing.
Yeah. Well, I think in the original, I can't remember if it's a second module or not, but I think it is, that where you're like, you got to keep a caravan of refugees alive.
Yes.
Wild. Like, what a great fucking setup for, you know, after a story. I don't remember the module itself being all that great, but like the concept is really, that's a really cool idea for a D&D campaign. You're not just like responsible for going out and, you know, whatever, dungeon delving or whatever else. But that's also the downside, right? Like the OSR folks criticize that as being like, this is where D&D went wrong because it's all about story and it's all about like overarching kind of predetermined plot, as opposed to like, here's a sandbox, go and do what you want. I mean, they're both, you know, completely valid ways of playing the game. Sure. There's probably a middle ground you can have in a lot of these too. But yeah, very cool stuff. Speaking of very cool stuff, morning comes. And apart from that, seeing the skies once again lighten and the gaps in the sky disappear, you guys are getting up and going. You are likely going to be one of the first groups up and heading out, because others are bigger groups, and there's, you know, larger groups of merchants and whatnot heading down for the Kingfisher Festival. What's the mood like for the first, you know, day or half of your day of travel?
See, I was glad he didn't get eaten.
Yet.
And he,
Yet.
I was waiting for it. And I think actually, I think that's where his mind mainly is. He sees the sun and he's kind of like, oh, you know, he's kind of happy about it.
I think Eleanor's happy, but for a different reason. Like, doesn't have that gaping hole in the sky. There are two gaping holes in the sky that remind him of colossal change is happening right now, and he doesn't understand it all, and he doesn't know what's going on. He likes certainty to a certain extent. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Thagrum has, since the night in the tavern, become a little bit more reserved and contemplative, and now kind of having 2 nights in a row with these really meaningful signs that he would be maybe more, just more in his own head as he travels.
Okay. George, I think you're working again now.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Okay.
You guys. I'm just excited. There's a festival. I mean, who knows what we're going to see? It's going to be amazing. So this is what he's thinking about.
Yeah, there's also the festival, but remember, we're going to a funeral, my friend.
Well, yeah. I feel like he might have liked this festival.
Yeah, he definitely would have.
Maybe we can enjoy it for him.
Celebration of life.
Yeah. And then, you know, be appropriate at the funeral, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think Herwig decides that what the day brings is just best shown by how Hannelore is feeling. So, listen to the horse. That's a thing.
The horse seemed. Do you have a proficiency in riding?
Animal handling. Yes.
Oh, animal handling, even better. Is that a skill?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So it seems like you've got a pretty good rapport with your horse, and she is very disquieted today, very out of sorts. Nostrils flaring, ears flat back, eyes kind of studying, and even a little hesitant to get going.
I would actually mention this to Thagrum. So, I don't know what's ahead, but Hannelore seems a little bit disquieted by what's ahead.
Thagrum, who's also someone who does animal handling, he would probably try to get a read on that as well, and interpret that as confirming some of the things that he's thinking about, that there's more at work, friend, than we know yet. I think it's wise to be cautious.
Okay. So what
trust
is
her?
Oh, go ahead, Jamie.
I was gonna say trust her, to Hagar or Hervik.
Okay. So what is the mood like on the road by about midday? Different talking, like on the journey? Are you keeping an eye out? The road is very much like we still see in the illustration here. Fairly, tranquil.
I think I'm keeping an eye out, but I'm not very good at it, so I'm mostly chatting with everybody. And purposely spending the exact same amount of time with each person.
Yeah.
Okay. Thagrum, Elenil, Hervik?
Too much in my head. So I gotta keep an eye out for things and try not to think about things too much.
Okay.
As soon as he starts thinking about things, he stops noticing what's going on around him.
Okay. Elenil, you said you have survival, right?
Me? No.
Oh, it was Hervik. Hervik, give us a survival check, please.
Ooh, that is a natural one, and I think it should stay a natural one.
Okay. You're very focused on the horse.
Yeah.
So, what about Thagrum and Cetal?
Thagrum is keeping he's more on high alert since Hervik told him about the horse's senses and everything. So he's also trying to kind of stay alert and use his survival senses as well as we trudge on.
And Cetal?
Seattle hates the outdoors. He's hated the outdoors since he was a young child, so he's very on edge, very watching every time a branch falls or something, he's just snaps his head to it. That's where he is.
I'm intentionally mispronouncing his name, by the by, because otherwise I'm going to start making coffee and Nirvana jokes. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
I was just looking for Cherokee names,
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, because that's where his last name comes from. I got a guy I used to work with, and his last name
cool.
is
Okay.
And I was like, okay, and he had Cherokee, and I had Cherokee history, and it's looking for a good name, and Seattle fit, but I just you got to spell it different.
Yeah.
It's a fancy name.
All right. So then, as you guys are, it's about midday, so you've had your mid-morning break. You've got up and you're going along, and Hervik, your attention is focused solely on the horse, and she finally at one point is walking along and just stops, and her nostrils are flaring, her eyes are wild, and all of you notice that the biggest member of your party seems to have stopped moving. If one of you is walking behind her, you sort of have to move. There's certainly enough room for you guys to comfortably move two abreast, but yeah, she has suddenly stopped. Who is up front?
Thagrum would be towards the front for sure. He's
Okay.
Hervik would have no problem running around leading the horse, but then everyone would be behind the horse.
It could be some tricky avoidance.
Right.
I think I'm kind of in the middle with Seattle, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm probably bringing up the rear.
Okay. So it sounds like everyone is happy to have the horse. It's just so Hervik and
dwarf are at the front. Yeah.
Thagrum. Yeah. So Thagrum, you maybe noticed that Hervik has stopped because the horse has just refused to move. The rest of you in the back kind of stop. Thagrum, would you give us a perception check, please? You are not focused on that horse.
Mm.
Once there's a lull in the horse moving and like the bridle and whatnot making sounds, and Hervig maybe turns around and starts talking to the horse, you can hear the sounds of something up ahead. The clatter of steel on steel, a pained cry, and then silence. You cannot see what's going on up ahead.
So Thagrum will hold his hand up to the others so that they know to pause. And once the sound fully subsides, how far away again was that?
So there's about maybe like a 40-foot bit of path in it, dog legs to the left around, and it's somewhere around there where this happened. And as you got your hand up, you're like, quiet, quiet. There is then suddenly a cry of a single word that all of you clearly hear. Help. From the sounds of it, it is the sound of someone in a great deal of pain and fearing for death. Why don't we roll some initiative?
All right.
Let's test these stupid sheets and see if you need to click on your token or not.
Oh.
No,
Yeah.
Nope.
Good
not
question.
that stupid. Never mind. Here we go.
Yeah, I did click on the token, so.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I just do instinct, Kevin.
For sure. Yeah. 9 years of doing it that way, it'll be a tricky thing to shake. All right. Okay, so then I need to. Right. All right. Will, I'm using the old bat dice once again. Once again, I'm pretty confident those are weighted because I rolled a nat 20. So. All right, so you can hear. Well, let me make an attack roll for whatever is off screen here, and I'll put you guys in order. Here we go. Descending. Let me get initiative tracker down here. 3 months without erasing an initiative tracker, so let's keep our fingers crossed here.
Nice. We need to have a sign where you just replace the
Then
number
it
one
definitely
of
needs to
those.
be flipped over because that'll track down to 0 once again.
Exactly.
Does our resident knight of Salamnia want to go sooner?
I will. It's okay. He's not the fastest.
You're on a
Maybe the
horse.
strongest, but not the fastest.
Aren't you on the horse?
He's walking the horse.
No, I think I'm leading the horse, so I'm
Are you leading the horse?
yeah.
Yeah, and the horse has refused to keep moving, it seems. There we go. All right. So I rolled. Hold up here. You know, it is a real shame that the relationship between wizards and it's not Dreepod 9, whatever the Gale Force 9 or Gale Force 7,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it was called. It's a shame that
Gale
that
Force
broke
9.
down.
Nice.
Yeah, because those cards were super fucking cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, I literally have them right here. I was gonna use them. But I was like, I'll just use the digital. But I love these. Like, I love these.
yeah.
I literally was on yesterday, going like, since we were playing. This is my first time actually playing 2024 PHB. I was like, oh wait, I wonder if they're making new cards, but I don't see that anybody is doing that.
But Dave, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I didn't understand your question. So yeah, if you want to swap initiative with me, then we could do that.
Yeah, I'd like to go later in the initiative and give the more heavily armored heroes a chance to jump in first.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So
okay.
I'll switch with you.
Okay.
Yes.
And I can switch to somebody who wants to go last.
That
Okay.
puts me after Seattle, I guess.
So I need to make a quick attack roll here.
Is it a swap or is it a dual initiative?
You swap. Yeah. I think you swap the score actually.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It
Yeah,
won't make a
you saw.
material difference. It's sequential anyway, and I don't know of anything that allows you to rework. Oh, you mean for the alertness?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
feet?
have.
Oh, okay.
Alert me.
Yeah. What does it do? That's a.
Initiative
It gives you
swap.
proficiency bonus, and then it also gives you the ability to swap.
Hmm.
One willing ally
As long as they're not incapacitated.
As long as neither of you are incapacitated. Yeah.
Very cool. So you two are swapping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and
I
I can
would be
swap
after
somebody,
the
if somebody, and I can swap with somebody too if they want to go last in this case. But I'm happy to go last. So
Short straw? Anyone? Anyone? No?
no, I this is my objective was to always go last. So it's fine with me.
All right, so what you can hear, because
Swap in Rovan.
Thagrum, you rolled quite well before. You hear the distinctive snap of a bowstring. All right, and not snap is the wrong thing. The twang of a bowstring. And let's roll damage. Ooh. Oof.
Villain NPCs off screen.
Oh, man. Look at that. More Batman. Batman bodes well for the NPCs for sure. You know what? I don't know if they're in here. Huh. I grabbed the wrong... Where's my monster manual? There we go.
I feel like I should have done a compound name as my last name.
Yeah.
Well, you can just do what Thagrum does and change it every inn that you stay at.
Just change it in every town.
So there's a sound of pain, and then someone, Thagrum, you can hear someone has hit the ground up ahead. Thagrum, you're up. What are you doing?
Ooh, well, he is going to move towards this, the sound more of the twang of the bow than the fall of the person, but I guess they're both in a similar direction at this point, so...
Do you want to follow the path? Do you want to cut through the, like, bushwhack through the woods?
He's probably not... Well, he's got survival, so he'll bushwhack.
Okay. So you trot through the things. If you're trying to conceal yourself, go ahead and give us a stealth check, and I'll give you advantage on that. Okay. Let's see with the passive. I guess first off, are you happy with that, or you want a heroic inspiration that?
That advantage isn't he rolled twice?
Yeah, I was gonna say, doesn't he need to roll with
Oh
any
yeah,
rolls
right.
with
It's
them?
this new stupid sheet that doesn't automatically roll.
Well, that was my better roll. So to answer your question, he's not happy with that. So I think I'll use the heroic inspiration.
Okay. So then go
will
ahead.
that also have advantage? Or
So here's something interesting
what
about
is that?
heroic inspiration. Heroic inspiration allows you to reroll any dice. So you can use heroic inspiration to reroll damage, or whatever other thing you roll. Hit dice.
Okay.
Yeah, it just says now reroll any dice.
Can I ask a quick question?
Of course.
The lucky feat.
Yeah.
When do you declare that?
You want to
Like,
click it.
do you-
I don't know off memory. Click on what it is.
Yeah, let me find it.
I believe it's that you have to declare ahead of time. Like,
Okay, see, that's what I'm curious about, because it doesn't specify, and so I just didn't know.
So luck points equal to your proficiency bonus. You can spend when you roll a d20 for a d20 test, you can spend 1 luck.
It says when you roll a d20.
Yeah, so it's before you see the results.
Advantage means rolling twice.
Okay, I wasn't sure, but I want to make sure.
Yeah. So that's before you
because
roll.
now heroic inspiration doesn't do that. It's after the fact. Yeah, so this one's before.
Okay.
And the other thing is, I reread the rules this morning for the 2024. When you have advantage on a roll and then you've failed and you are now going to spend heroic inspiration, you can only re-roll one of those 2 dice.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
don't,
because
like,
it roll
re-roll
1
with
dice. That makes sense.
advantage again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Thagrum, go ahead and give us your stealth check once again.
Okay.
13.
That's a little better.
Okay. All right. So here's what you find, Thagrum. As you go tromping up through and you're able to poke your head out, I think you're able to see about 60 feet down the road to where there is a larger bulk of figures. For one, you can see very near where you are now on the road, there looks to be someone dressed like a serf or a commoner or a laborer with a vicious-looking arrow sticking out of its back. The way they have fallen, there is no likelihood of them living. Further down the road, what you spy is a wrecked... Well, I mean, first off, technically what you spy is block text. But the block text is a wrecked wagon lies toppled, surrounded by armored corpses. At a glance, you can see that their armor seems similar to what your colleague, Hervig, wears. Strange robed figures pick through them, and let me show you an illustration here. They look an awful lot like Elenil, actually. Dave, that betrayal mid-session that we worked out is going to work out just fine.
Excellent.
Sounds about right.
Down with the knights.
We actually did that in a one session where like a player had to leave halfway through, so he's like, you know what, kill my character. I'm like, done. So we played a one shot, we killed the character, the other two players were like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Nice. And Drew Barrymore in Scream.
Yeah. So here we go, guys. This is what you see, Thagrum. Heavily robed figures who seem to be picking through the remains. And as one turns and the cloak falls aside, you can see there is a steel, recently forged breastplate on them. You need not make a religion roll to recognize that they wear the spiraling symbol of the Dragon Queen, Takhisis. So that's what you've spotted. Hervig, Thagrum seems to have, you look over your corner, your shoulder. Now what you've seen is that Thagrum has raced into the bushes. Thagrum, what I've assumed is that your action and your move was to get as far as you needed to get. That's why I'm cutting off from you right now.
So, but Hervig didn't hear anything from like...
You heard the help.
Arrows. You heard the help. So in that case, I would take the javelin from the horse. So the horse, I think, in the saddle or somewhere is a javelin. So because
it's in his teeth. That's why no one can get past it.
Yeah.
Whoa,
So I would spend this thing to get the javelin and then move as far as I can move. So
down
my
the
speed
trail
is 30,
or through the bushes.
I'm a knight of Solamnia. I think I wouldn't go through the bushes if unless I'm ordered to. So come on.
I am not getting schmutz on these boots. So
no.
What you see is you sort of like trot down to the end of the trail because you can get you can interact with an object for free. So you'll be able to grab this, race down, and then I think your second move would bring you around the corner. Or dash, or whatever the fuck it's called in 5e. You get around the corner, and what you can see is exactly what I described to Thagrum. At your feet, there is a dead person. One of those hooded figures is carrying a bow. Seems likely that one of the arrows, that it originated from a quiver with very ugly-looking but effective weaponry. And you... Like, this is like something out of a fairy tale standing before you, someone wearing the symbol of Takhisis on a freshly forged breastplate is just like, it's unthinkable to be that, like, not necessarily cartoonishly evil, but it's so unthinkable to be like, what are you doing? But if you wish to say anything, you could say something.
I don't think I'm clever enough to say something clever, so I don't say anything.
Okay. Elenil, what are you doing?
Elenil has no such reservations about getting dirty or running through the woods, and he will follow his new dwarven friend with bow in hand.
Now, as a wood elf, do you get any benefit of moving through the difficult terrain of the woods? Or the terrain? I can't remember if that's an ability you have, or I'm just making stuff up.
I don't know, because in the character generation, it was just elf, so there was no wood elf.
Oh, you're not a wood elf. That's right. You're a high elf. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. Ignore me. So you definitely don't have that ability. I don't think. Where are? Oh, they're right midway through here, aren't they?
Page 190.
Awesome. Thank you. Funny, my book just turned to that.
My character sheet's all messed up too. When I go to the features, it's got like human, resourceful, human, skillful. I'm like, the hell?
I mean, it did give you 22 hit points at first, so that's pretty good.
Maybe I had.
Maybe you're a horrible amalgam of another first level character.
Yeah.
I was fixing to say,
I tried to make a character as a human, and then I decided to change it to an elf. So I'm wondering if it's pulling data from two.
You're fucking
So you can play a
Quado.
half blood, but you're now a double blood.
Yeah, exactly. Kill me. Eleanor, then you do not have any speed. You're just going to be able to, with your full action, get up to where Thagrim is, and you will see exactly as he did. Give us a stealth check with advantage, please. Can you set advantage to automatically roll with these stupid sheets?
yeah, up at the top on mine, advantage and disadvantage are kind of in the middle. It's above like everything.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, well, I'm gonna try that. Just so only the first dice actually matters.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
So I'll see what it does. Oh, look at that! Roll 2.
That looks nice. I like that. Okay, so then 16. So you run right up next to Thagrim, and you can see what we see there. There is 5 figures, by the by. Are you trained in religion, Eleanor?
No.
Okay. So you see a strange spiraling, kind of like twisting triangle type symbol. Seattle.
So let's see. So I'm going to follow Hervig, and I guess that's a double move. So that would be my move and my action to move.
Yeah.
I do have a bonus action though.
Okay.
So let me get back over there.
Hail,
and-
fellows.
No.
Okay.
So out of nowhere, as he stands up near Hervig, comes this gigantic green blade from nowhere. And he grasps it. And it almost looks like it's too big for him.
Mm-hmm.
But he grasps it confidently.
Nice.
And looks at Hervig. Are you ready?
Okay. And
Very much.
Rovan.
So I just follow Seattle and the others, but I'm only going to go halfway because I'm going to use my actual action to cast Mage Armor, which I knew I was supposed to cast when I woke up, and I keep forgetting, but I won't forget again. This is the last time I'm going to
Okay.
forget.
All right. Then I need to bring something to the foreground here. Let's go to token layer. There we go. All right, top of the round 2, guys. Then the sound of the thing manifesting and the somatic or the verbal component of your spell, Ravan, not Ravanian. The figures look over at you. You can both see now quite clearly, Hervig and Seattle, that there appears to be at least 3 fallen knights. That armor you would recognize anyway, with all the filigrees and whatever else on the vambraces and the bracers and such. They look up at you, and one of them says in a very clearly inhuman or perhaps just like disfigured voice. One of them gestures, a smaller of the 5 of them, gestures in your directions and says, "Kill them." And they're going to try and do that. So let's get some. Go. These guys down here. Who dead figures? And give some hit points. I forget, when we loaded this game up, did you guys set easy, hard, or nightmare mode?
Yeah, just the story. That's even loading.
Each of these has one hit point and a lollipop. It's amazing.
And a bucket full of gold. How does that happen?
All right. So
I one-shotted them with a toothpick, and then I went and bought myself some flavor.
all right. Then, they are. Do I have that right? Sorry. Where is... Oh, boy. Okay, got it. I did it right. Sorry. All right, these two things still mass, and you can see as they draw their a really nasty and hooked short sword, they the light of the sun that or sunlight that comes through the overhanging trees still allows you to see the markings of Takizis on the front. You are 60 feet away, and so is there a charge action in 2020?
There is.
Not unless it's a special, special action that a monster can do. Uniquely.
Okay.
There's a map.
All right, so then they are... what about readying actions?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. So they move up, and both of them readies in action as if, like, tempting you to come forward. You can see from the markings and the hackings on their robes, and these are well worn from travel, that the three knights that lay dead behind them now, they did not go easy. The other three robed figures move at a brisk pace off into the woods on the far side. Thagrum, what are you doing? You're about 30 feet away now.
Okay. I think Thagrum will cast the spell. He'll target a spell on his ally here, on his nearest ally, who I believe
He's Elenel.
is Elenel. Yeah, so he's going to cast.
I was sneaking, though. I don't know. Can you see me?
You were both sneaking.
Yeah.
So unless you scare the hell out of each other, then
Oh, so I wouldn't know he's there?
you would. I think.
Oh, I would.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is all happening sort of simultaneously. You guys aren't like literally waiting to be like, oh, I should go over there in about 2 seconds.
All right, so he's going to cast a Shield of Faith targeted at him. I don't have it on the sheet, so I'm just pasting it in there. But it's,
I think you can cut and paste if you want to cut and paste your spells. I did set access to the compendium in this, so you should be able to cut and paste your spells if you want. Like, doesn't make a.
You mean drag them in?
Yep.
Like you can drag them in.
Yeah,
Okay.
drag and drop. Sorry, that's right. Cut and paste is exactly what you were doing, Madison. How much more can I do what I'm doing?
Elenel has a bow out, just so he had that out before we charged into the forest.
Okay. So awesome. Okay, so as a bonus action, what does your Shield of Faith look like?
I think it's almost like these sparks that sort of not draw attention, but almost like like a dull spark that surrounds him.
Okay. And you still have an action. Too. That's only a bonus.
So with his other action, he's going to close the gap here with his shield raised.
Okay. They did not see you coming. You still have an attack if you'd like. Or another action.
Yes, Warhammer.
Okay.
We're going to bring down the Warhammer
Here
towards
comes
the nearest one.
First attack for the 2024 edition.
Yeah, here we go. About average.
Wait, why do you have +0 to hit? That's not...
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's a good question.
Yeah, because you should... There's no
it's
strength
tied
bonus.
to my strength, and I don't have a strength bonus, I guess.
But you should have
you should have
a
a
proficiency
proficiency
bonus of +2 at least.
Let's see. Maybe that's why it's... Okay, it's showing it as automatic instead of proficient. That's why.
Oh.
So I'll be 13 with proficient.
Okay.
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 So coming in, unfortunately, that is not quite good enough. So you get in, and this... Oh, hold on. Because it didn't see you, its ready to action will not trigger. After you attack, now its ready to action will trigger. Because it now is aware of you. And let's get these stabbies off here. Oh, that is not good. 11 is my best roll.
My AC is 14.
Nice. So you, it turns and it slashes at you, and then you slashes a second time. You get your shield up and you batter it aside. Next up is Hervig. You're 30 feet away.
Okay, so I would use my move action to move close enough, and then use my great sword to do great damage. I hope.
Nice. You and Hervig and Seattle are sword brothers. Okay. Whoa! Yeah, that's a hit.
So that's 8.
8 points of damage. All right. Here, I'll put the one that's actually closer to you. All right. Yeah. Oh, and this will also trigger its readied action. Let's see. A 15 and a 20.
Yeah, 20 hits. And
20
my armor
hits.
class is 18. Right
Oh,
now.
nice. Okay, so the first one kind of cuts across, and then it manages to find a chink in your armor, and you take... Oh, hold on. Wrong bat dice. 2 points of damage.
Okay.
All right. So you've traded, and you have definitely given the better than you received. Any bonus action?
Yeah, I was just I thought I had the skill that I could double some damage, but I can't find it. No, my bonus action would be second wind, but it's too early. It's only 2 points of damage. So.
Okay.
No.
You got it. Elenil, what are you doing? You are hidden still.
Yeah,
Oh,
so back on his bow and shoots at the one that was just hit by... No, at Bagram's. Shoot over the dwarf.
Okay. Go ahead and give it. You have advantage on this attack roll.
All right.
So at least the first one. That's good. I only saw the 5. That is it. The hit. Go ahead and roll. Oh, did it roll damage for you? Yeah, must not. No, because it's rolling 2d. What is going on with your damage roll?
But roll the sneak attack. Looks like it rolled a 1.
Sneak attack.
Advantage doesn't roll damage twice now, does it?
It shouldn't, no.
Should.
But I had clicked on the sneak attack. So that it would roll the sneak attack.
Yeah, so
damage
your
at the
sneak
same
attack was a
time.
4. If you look at the details of the roll, that's a 4. I don't know why it rolled 2d6 for you, though.
Well, 1 for the bow, 1 for the sneak attack.
Yeah, I assume the 1d6 was for the...
But there's
the bow and the 2d6
for the top
right.
one, if you look, there's 2d6 that are rolled.
Weird.
Yeah.
Guys, we're apparently playing Savage Worlds now, so well, I guess I should give you bennies.
Yes, please, and thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. The first, it was a 6 plus 2 is 8 plus the 4 is 12. So Thagrim, you got in and you tried to. He disappeared. He tries to get him. This thing counterattacks on them, and then Elenil, you land an arrow into this thing, and it staggers back its robe falls back, so you are when you're. Oh, that's when
I
you're
think
thinking
he
of.
clicked on the damage.
Yeah,
instead
that
of
was the
actual
feat I
attack.
was missing. But yeah, I will do it next round.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Then here. Let me show you what you see. And I know none of you guys are going to see this coming. Holy smokes. What could this possibly be? A 30-year-old secret? I don't know. Let's see.
I think it's even 40.
It's going to.
Is it 40 years? Oh, yeah, it's fucking 80s. Jeez.
so.
Yeah.
God damn, I'm old. All
I
right.
had heard some rumor.
So this is what you see as it goes back. And you may think your rumors are Elenil true. But as it moves back, you can see its body strangely slows and then kind of seems to stick in place as it transforms into stone. And I need Thagrum and Hervig to give us a Constitution saving throw, please. Nice. Success for Hervig.
Oh my gosh.
Yikes. Inspiration? Rogue inspiration?
Yeah, do you have... Wasn't that one, though?
No, I think I used it for the stealth.
Can you re-roll in that one in 2024?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah,
Guys, this game is too easy.
yeah.
Come on.
Not with Madison as the DM.
So what you find is as that mist goes out, it solidifies as stone, restraining you, Thagrum. And restrained means your speed is 0 and cannot increase. Your attack rolls against you have advantage, and your attack rolls have disadvantage. Disadvantage on saving throws and dex saves as well. So,
You're not incapacitated?
not incapacitated, no.
Okay. Good.
So that was your shot, Elenil. Anything else you wish to do? Any bonus action?
No, I'm good.
Seattle, what are you doing?
Let's see. I'm going to use my bonus action to cast a spell.
Okay.
Because it doesn't matter what order I do that stuff in, correct?
Nope.
Oh, well.
You
That
threw a
didn't
spell at my head.
I'll go right back over here and see if this works better.
Oh, no, that worked. If Armor of Agathis is what... Because you can click on details and it shows you what it does.
I was looking to see. Okay, it doesn't. Either way, it doesn't automatically give me the temp, so I'll manually add that in. So
Well,
that's
also,
my
remember,
bonus action.
keep your temp hit points separate because they are treated separately.
Yeah, they got a block for it.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, it doesn't work, but that does sound great. It's good in theory, I'll grant you that.
Let's see, what else? That's my bonus action. So I will use my move action
Okay.
and get into combat range with the one that is still alive,
Yeah.
and we will then attack.
Okay.
Okay, see, it did both. Okay, so it did the attack and the damage.
That is a narrow miss.
Damn the bad. Well, oh yeah, never mind.
Do you want to use your heroic inspiration? Because you have, I don't think you've used it yet.
Yeah, I still have heroic inspiration. Yeah, let me use that.
Oh yeah. Go ahead and reroll
I
that
was-
sucker.
Thinking about lucky.
There you go. Wait.
No.
Well, the first one I assume is a reroll. The second time I'll just count up to enthusiasm.
You know what? The first one is the attack. The second one is the damage.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You see that?
Yeah. I see it now.
I figured I would re-roll damage because, I mean, I'm re-rolling the attack. But
Yeah. I'm not a fan of these fucking sheets.
Am I screwing up?
No, not at
that's-
all. Absolutely
Okay.
not. No. The design. Unless, hold on. Will, did you design these?
I can neither confirm nor deny whether I may or may not have had a hand in the influence of the design or poor design, if you will, of these sheets.
Yeah. Okay. So you, this was a huge hit. What does it look like as you land into this thing? And then would you, Thagrum, Thagram's already caught. Hervik and Seattle, would you both give us Constitution saves?
Sure.
Give us your badass description first, though.
The first thing he did, he cast that spell, so all of a sudden there's coolness around it. And then he just rears back with that sword as he moves in.
Yeah.
And I mean, it doesn't seem like it should be possible for this small man, for lack of a better word, to be able to lift something like this. But it just comes up and over and just slices through this thing. And I need to make a con save. And that sucks.
Okay, so you were likewise restrained. Hervik, how'd you do? 14, you're good.
I did a 14, yeah.
Whoa, guys, stop. Could you stop doing that? All right. And then, Rovan, as you come around the corner, assuming that's what you're doing, you find the two of them standing, seemingly assaulting slowly cracking statues of oddly malformed lizard folk. Although lizard folk don't have wings.
Weird. Something bad. So he runs up, and so he'll use his movement to run up. He is then going to attack with his quarterstaff, but he's going to yell, "Shock!" With
But
his
remember,
true
you
strike.
cast a spell beforehand, so you would have needed to move 30 to get into where you could see, and you'd still be 30 away from them.
Oh, I'm still 30 away. Okay.
Yeah, because you cast Mage Armor that first round, right?
Yeah. I couldn't remember how far ahead of me they were.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I did dash and I move, so I catch up to them.
So as you reach them, basically, I mean, we're not going to sit here and roll saving throws, but because the others have run off. But it takes a few seconds for Thagrum and Seattle to finally get yourselves free. And then within the minute, these things that seemingly both of them transformed into stone and then begin just crumbling before you. There is the pile of grit that falls at your feet. Apart from their weaponry, you would never know that these were living creatures, killing creatures.
And the other ones ran off, right?
Yeah.
I think we need to check the person with the arrow first.
Okay.
Good idea.
To see if there's anything we can identify from them.
Maybe they are still alive. You might.
I don't think they are, but we can check.
Would let's see here. Anyone who has training in Arcana, you can go ahead and give us an Arcana check. Or anyone trained in History. Wow.
Yeah, there's a guy that knows what he's doing.
So, Ravan, given the totality of what you just witnessed, the things looking like lizard folk, but with wings, the things wearing the armor of Takhisis and new armor of Takhisis, and them transforming into stone and then crumbling into dust. There is nothing you have ever encountered and nothing you've ever read of that matches this.
What are these things? And I kind of look at the group. Has anybody seen one of these things before?
I think with your roll, because those are really good rolls, I think you could even so confidently say there is no record of anything like this.
Yeah. This is unheard of.
I heard rumors of lizard folk raiders. Initially, that's what drove me from my home in search of them and information about them. This is the first that I've come across them. And these are strange.
And why wouldn't you tell us before? 3 days ago when we asked?
because that was 1,000 miles away. I did not expect to see them here. I left Qualinesti because of it.
I think just because of the timeline of the events, Dave, you probably heard about it more recently when you were up here. If you were traveling along and whatnot too, you heard recently that stuff, because this stuff only kind of happened in the last couple of years, not like a decade ago.
Okay, so yeah, sorry, I'll rephrase that then. It's like, well, I didn't really think it would be relevant.
What are you guys
Are
do?
you sure it's not your kind of magic that made them crumple to stone? And I look at all the magic users here.
No, that's
I've
not
seen-
that's not our magic. That's something intrinsic. I mean, because Thogrim used a completely different attack than I did.
Yeah, I don't
One
think
of
this
them
has to do with
stone after it
magical.
with an arrow. Sorry.
It's okay.
Eleanor, you're able to recover your arrow as if it had been shot into sand. It's in pristine shape now.
I won't delete it out of my inventory as I already have.
Didn't
So
you say there was also like a wagon or something that they had attacked or were looking at? Isn't that
There
right,
is.
Kevin?
Every night.
yep.
Let's investigate that.
Yeah. So, and did we check the person? I mean, we were
I thought we
talking
did.
whether he still was alive.
If
Yeah,
you go
Thagrum
back and
would want
check, you can see that the arrow, it's the tip that has broken off because it shot clean through him.
Okay.
Yeah, he unfortunately
So
died.
likely is dead. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you come back and the others have turned over the bodies, these are 3 knights of Solemnia.
Ooh.
What's in the wagon?
Havik, you would know that if they are knights and they are here, they either have dispensations to be absent from duty, or they would have orders.
Yeah. But they wouldn't have their orders written with them, I suppose. So.
Oh, yeah.
They
If
would.
you- yeah, because if you need to call on anything else,
Yeah.
paperwork is a big thing for the Knights of Solemnia, apparently.
Yeah. That's. I appreciate that. That's a good trait. So I will look for the orders. I mean, that should be in the right order pocket, because that's where you keep your orders.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
So what you guys find among the wreckage of the wagon, I'll just go in kind of reverse order here. You can find there are 3 long swords, crafted and no doubt like being brought to market. 8 days of food and water for 1 person, and 40 gold pieces.
Ooh.
Each of the soldiers wears plate armor with filigree and horned helmets, distinctive of the Knights of Solemnia, but each of the suits has vicious claw marks on them that makes them effectively unusable without being repaired. The orders you find, these were people who were stationed to farmsteads around Vogler. It seems as if there were farmsteads being raided by strange creatures. What Elenil had heard, it seems reached the knights, and they had dispatched these 3 to investigate raiders that seemed to be lizard folk raiding these farmsteads.
Can we make the carriage work again? So are we able to turn it around and use it to carry the bodies?
To transport the bodies, I don't... No, it doesn't look like. Unless someone's got carpentry, like tools with, or training with carpentry or Wainwright tools. I can't remember what they call it, Wagoneer tools or something like that. Nobody?
No.
Just crafting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could, I think with Thagrim's newfound skill with blacksmithing, I'll make you could make the roll at disadvantage to try and get it, kludged enough together to be able to transport the bodies back.
What's broken and
No.
we use a mending spell?
Well, it's worth taking a look and see what mending does in this, but mending typically only, it's like something you can hold in your hand.
Okay.
Yeah. A single break or tear in an object you touch, such as a broken chain link, 2 halves of a broken key.
1 foot.
Yeah, no larger than 1 foot. Yeah, so it's a fairly...
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the damage, this is not a matter of like you're incompetent at it, Thagrim. It speaks to how badly damaged this stuff was, and then like, you know, weight being put on. If a wheel fell off and then suddenly a bunch of weight was on an axle, that busted as well. So it's just that it speaks to this thing being truly non-functional at this point.
So could we at least, I don't know, use the rest of the wagon to somehow build some kind of shelter for the 4 bodies, so that I don't know, they are not.
Yeah, let me show you. I think
eaten
I've
by
got.
wolves or so.
There's other people traveling this road behind us. That
Yes,
had
and
camped
why does it matter?
because they'll have wagons. And as a Knight of Solamnia, maybe you can make an arrangement for them to transport the bodies on your behalf.
I would.
You throw your weight around, don't you? Knight?
Yeah, I know my way around, but this doesn't. So I think that the thing that the measure proposes would be to go to Vogler from where the knights got their orders, and just send a party out to get them. And we need just to somehow secure the bodies.
There's 3 other raiders that escaped.
Yes.
Perhaps it's better for us to wait here until the next group arrives, and then you can barter with their merchant or whoever it is, and have them take the bodies on their cart. And the bodies aren't left in the wagon or out in the open for hours and half a day.
So that's the illustration from the
Oh, it's mangled.
text guys, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all busted up.
Your call.
But as he was saying, as Hervig was saying, we could use some of it to kind of, drag their bodies out of the road, get them kind of lined up, and then maybe get some of that wood and lay over their bodies for now.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, get to the village and say, hey, look it. Because,
What's to stop the next group from looting them?
I hate to say this, but we kind of already did the looting.
Huh?
Yeah. Somehow I didn't hear what was said right now.
No attention. Hervig, look over there.
I cannot hear you. I'm reciting the measure.
Taking 2 coins off a dead man isn't as bad as stripping your knights of their armor and weapons, and by the time you get to the castle and back with people to move them, perhaps they're gone.
That's just predicated on somebody investigating the wood. Surely we could, with Hervig's superior survival skills, surely we could camouflage it.
I think, Hervig, what you could do with what's here, one of the sort of... Is anyone else trained in survival as well, or is it just Hervig?
No,
Yeah,
I'm not.
I am.
So between the 2 of you guys, you could put together like a travois of some kind, and just, so you're not just like dragging the bodies by the legs behind them. These are dead, so it would take you probably a little bit of time, or a little bit of time to get something that's going to be properly transporting them. But it's lashing 2 kind of like legs of 2 trees together at the one end, and then something to support the body in the middle, and then you just drag it along.
Yeah, and I think Hannelore is strong enough to drag them to the village. Okay, so let's do this.
Oh yeah, you got the horse too. Mm-hmm. So you know what? That'll also
like this inspiration that suddenly came to me. I don't know.
That will also allow you guys time to reach 2nd level.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
Everybody is second level.
Right.
Wow.
Okay, so
Wow.
add.
The level up feature is coming soon.
Yeah, it's coming
Huh?
soon.
No.
Great.
Gotta put the 300 in. Let me check. Save.
The level up button doesn't work.
No, you're
That's
right.
manually
It is
change it.
still
Yeah,
coming
you know,
soon.
like I don't. Roll20, there's a lot of stuff that's great, but like this is one of these things where they have had like a fucking year to know this was coming, and it's a game that is fundamentally the same as what it was before. So like, how the fuck do you not get your ducks in a row and get this working by this time?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so now I have to
So
go.
you have to hit that. You have to hit that edit or the gear by your name, and then you can change your level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know the good
Yeah,
thing is,
okay.
guys, it's not like Roll20 has a ton of competition from other, you know, virtual tabletops right now. So, you know, now would be a good time to not have people go like, you know what, this seems to work better on whatever.
All right, so
Yeah.
I mean, we don't get too much at second level, so thankfully it shouldn't.
oh, see, I'm multi-classing, so I gotta go
Oh,
look that
got
shit
it.
up.
Uh-oh.
Well, that you might be able to do because it was an option to add class.
I did. I added the class. I guess I could look and see if it put anything in. I don't think it has though.
If
Feature.
I change the level manually, it does not change hit points and stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
not
No, you
sure
have to
whether
manually
this is.
change. Manually edit your character sheet. But can I just add cunning action? Let's see.
Are you able to, oh yeah, from the compendium, are you able to drag and drop
No.
stuff onto the character sheet?
No, it
Yeah.
says features will be added soon.
Oh,
Yeah,
some of them work.
yeah.
Oh, really?
So,
Yeah, make sure you're selecting the option that is the 2024 version, because they do have them both. When I was looking at it when I first set up this thing, they had both the 2024 and the 2014 versions for certain things, so that might not be cross-compatible.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's the same for me. I mean, I could. Yeah. I don't see how I can increase the hit points other than entering the number manually, but then it will have the wrong number of hit dice. So,
Huh. So what is everyone taking? Is everyone other than Seattle taking a level in the same class?
yes.
Yeah.
And Seattle, what's your multi-class?
Fighter 1,
Okay.
Nice.
which does mean I can at least do this. Inventory.
Yeah, it's not letting me change my hit points.
What happened to your hit points?
Can't change them.
You can't.
Yeah, that's.
That's
I
not right.
go back to max 22 again.
Oh, because it doesn't have that feat.
Let's see.
So
All right, it works really good for level 1.
You know, like the thing is, the other sheet by the when we've been playing with that sheet for a while in Night Below, it works really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's very clean. It's very easy to read.
The stuff that comes up in the chat when you roll is super easy to understand.
Exactly. You know, the one also, like, how do you not learn the lesson from Modiphius and Star Trek Adventures? Like, white text on black background is a pain in the ass to read. It doesn't look metal. It looks fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, I'm the exception of the rule. It's actually easier for me to read that stuff.
Oh, is it?
That's a
Okay.
me- That's a me thing.
Yeah.
I guess I could just add the feat for medium armor proficiency. And that would work.
Yeah, you should. Well, there's also there's a separate, not the feat, because the feat comes with extra things. There is a proficiency. You should be able to drag and drop if it works the way the last one did. there's proficiency with it.
Is underneath the school skills.
Yeah, because the feat is different. It doesn't work like the 3.5 or Pathfinder, where like the feat is what is your proficiency. Proficiency is the proficiency in 5th edition.
I'm tracking. Fighter class.
Nice. That worked, Dave.
Yeah. It doesn't do anything mechanically on the sheet, so it's also very easy.
Okay, cool. Cool. And how many new spells do you get there, Rovan?
So I get 1 additional cantrip for, and I chose light for that.
Yep.
And I get 1 additional spell slot, first level spell slot, and then I can pick 2 first level spells.
Nice.
And one other thing I got, which is new, is you get an ability, because you used to get your subclass at first level as a wizard, but now it's 3rd. So they've put some new stuff in. So at 2nd level now, you get what's called Scholar, which means you get expertise, like rogues have, in
cool.
one of your already trained skills from your class. So now I have expertise in Arcana.
Awesome.
Oh, that's really
so
cool.
Why?
Yeah.
That's why my Arcana was picked first, because I chose Arcana expertise.
Got it. Yeah. Well, now I'm at a 7, so now we can. This kind of makes sense.
Okay.
So do we get skill points?
No.
No.
Skill points aren't really a thing in 5th edition. You're either trained in it or you're not, or you're got expertise.
Yeah. And it just goes up with your proficiency bonus.
Correct.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
I kind of missed that though from back in the day. I'm going to put a point in this. I'm going to put a point in that.
What? Your 2nd level, LNL, you should have, I think, 5 hit points plus your con modifier for 2nd level. You wouldn't get the same as 1st level, right? Because it's a D8 for the.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. You're going to get that 22 hit points come hell or high water.
No, I just deleted the override.
Oh, got
to
it.
change
Got it. Yeah.
I was distracted.
Mm-hmm.
See, now, I mean, the one thing that can be said for Roll20 is they are responsive to complaints about stuff. So, like, they got their Marvel sheet working really well after time. So I have no doubt that this is going to get working as well. And there were issues with the 5th edition one at first as well. So I'm sure they're going to sort that stuff out as well. But it's very frustrating that, right when the newest version of this is being rolled out, it doesn't give a lot of confidence to making use of their beta version of the virtual tabletop. Right?
Yeah, I mean, they have the problem that they also have to incorporate all this Nexus stuff. So they have now 2 teams building character editors for D&D. And I mean, I think, I don't know, I haven't had an RPG company, but I think they need to merge all this stuff, and that's complicated, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right, I think I figured this part out.
Okay.
I've got everything done on mine now.
Okay. Did you gain? Well, you should have got more hit points, though, right?
I did.
So-
I put it on my sheet. Oh, it undid it.
Yeah,
It put him over into. You know what it did? It put it into my temp. It moved over to temp hit points.
Okay, so we know that feature functions.
So maybe what I have to do is, let me try a couple different things to make this work.
Yeah, Seattle, you should have what, like, if you started with 10, whatever your con bonus is plus 6. Right? Because it's
Yeah.
standard.
Let me see if that did right. Okay.
Thagrum.
That's not people.
There.
What's your con bonus, Thagrum?
It's 1. But I also have a it's like, what is it called? Toughness?
Oh, as your starting... Yep. As your starting feat. Got it. Okay.
Damn it.
Flawless leveling up.
Yeah.
So, guys, we got to play one encounter. All right. So I am gonna, while we're getting this stuff sorted, I'm gonna bring us back to the main page as you guys are getting. Oops, I'm gonna pop out George. Apparently, there we go. You're back.
My alert. Let's go.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Go.
That works. Okay, great. Cool. That was my first level spell that I got.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'll bring us back here. So then, guys, that is our... brings us to the end of our maiden voyage with 5th edition 2024. So it is a... I will say it's a shame that the sheet was such a pain in the ass about this. Just because, like, I feel like this was supposed to be highlighting the features of 2024 to see what, you know... and I think we got to see some of that stuff. But so much of the stuff was fussing with the sheet that overshadowed a lot of it. But for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for this dabbling in the lands of Dragonlance. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the game, or this adventure, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have a channel dedicated to 5th edition. We have a channel dedicated to the Night Below campaign that we currently play with 5th edition. And in addition, there's a bunch of other channels like Finding a Group or GM Discussion, and it's a very helpful and knowledgeable and friendly community over there, and you are more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs. Not only do they have a great selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs. They have, if they don't have something in stock in their extensive catalog, you can put it on a want list, and they'll send you an email when it comes in. But if there is a... we do normally have a discount code available for you. That is not active right now. We will have that new one for you. It expired in end of September. We'll have a new one for you shortly, and if you check one of our more recent videos, if you're listening to this after this date, after October 5th, 2024, we should have a discount code listed for you. You can enter that at checkout and save yourself 10% on your purchase. And there's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages, which is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, an incredible organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. You can learn all about those activities by following that link, and you can make a donation through there too. None of the money donated goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from their services. And it's a small way of saying thank you. If you have donated $25 or more since the start of the year, since January of 2024, head on over to the Charity Initiatives channel on the Dungeon Musings Discord server, and you will be able to vote on the next of our mashup sessions. We have some mashup sessions coming up. Currently, we are voting on a mashup of the classic Great Pendragon campaign, originally published for the Pendragon RPG. It looks like the Fallout RPG is the leader for that currently. We have, in the past, run one mashing up the Expedition to the Barrier Peaks with Acton Cthulhu 2D20, and we have another coming up for, we played also the classic Call of Cthulhu campaign, Masks of Nyarlathotep with Lex Arcana. We'll have two more mashups after this one. So if you donated $25 or more since the start of the year, our way of saying thank you is for you to help us shape those charity sessions. The last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart Dungeons and Dragoners. I mean, there was neither Dungeons nor Dragons in this, so our taverns and roadside terrors, Dave, Ingolf, Jamie, Will, and George, thank you so much for playing today, guys. This was a lot of fun to see you guys get into character and get to know one another as well, and talk about Dragonlance. That was a lot of fun. I did enjoy the thinking of the context of the setting and the headspace for each of your characters. That was pretty fun. So then we will be back with more 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. Soon-ish. We're getting pretty close to the end of our Blackbirds, and then we'll be transitioning to the 2024 version of 5th edition, starting in our Night Below campaign, but probably not the last time we're playing the newest version of D&D on the channel either. But until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the time leading up to the War of the Lance for these Ansalon heroes. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.